How does his touch compare to Cappy's touch?
Well, Cappy had to work on my neck yesterday.
Cappy also got in on it because he came in into the studio.
Well, I had
too.
to show Cappy. Yeah, but Scott, just want you to know something went down.
Well, you got to keep him honest.
Cappy's got those
honest.
more rough, manly hands.
Yeah.
He's a man who's traveled the world, so he's more aggressive with me.
Yeah.
Some calloused hands.
Exactly. Slee was a gentle touch.
Shows you I haven't been to the gym in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
a gentle touch.
Not getting under an engine very often.
Is that what you're calling? You're touching my thigh, getting under the engine?
No, it's just like you said that.
He was under the hood.
Basically, my hands were like a child. Like, yeah, it doesn't feel like anything.
Listen, I think the best part of this is it's all going to be fine, Lakers fans, because the schedule's easy coming up. The next 18 games, a breeze. 18 out of 18, right?
It's only like the sixth toughest schedule in the NBA.
It
Sixth
seems
or
like
seventh.
every week we go through strength of schedule and the Lakers gets harder.
Even after they play a
Every
tough
week.
team.
Yeah.
The
it goes
best
up.
part I love about, and this is why I do these bits. Because I, for business purposes, we'd like the Lakers to be the sixth. That's not going to happen now. But one game happens, it's like, it's
over.
It's all figured
done.
out. It's so good.
Yep.
And then we forget all the other things, the last 3 games before then, and now here we're back.
No,
here.
you don't have to do that. When there was about 2 minutes left in the first quarter, it was so if they go up against Denver in the Western Conference Finals, and then by the time you got to halftime, it's like, all right, how much longer is Braun here? Ham's got to go.
It's true.
All within 15 minutes.
It's like when when you text a girl and you're like, everything's great, and then you figure she'll reply in 2 minutes. When it's minute 10, you're like, that's it.
Well, you know what?
Done.
You know what the
It's done.
state of the
Back on
Lakers
Match.com.
is? When you're talking about the text to the girl waiting for the response, this whole season
that's a good-
has just
that's a
been the
good comp.
bubbles forming.
Yeah.
It's just a continual state of the bubbles forming. You have no idea what is coming next.
Yeah, she was about to text, and then she just stopped texting.
It's just one long bubble.
And then when she does text back, like at the 20th
Sliwa,
minute,
you don't know what we're talking about because you refuse to get on the iPhone.
You don't see the bubble.
Well, I had the iPhone at one point.
Yeah,
so
way back
that's actually why I got rid of it.
You got it so long ago.
Because I had to see the bubbles.
It was pre-bubble. They didn't even have the bubbles back then. That's how long ago your iPhone was.
What was your example you were giving?
Oh, then when she does text back 20 minutes, sorry, babe, I was outside working on the lawn. So good. How's your day? You're like, I don't even like you anymore. It's minute 20.
I
And
didn't.
then you
What
wait
if she
20
was
minutes.
outside?
Then you wait 20 minutes to
Yeah.
text back, and then you're in a bad, vicious cycle.
No, I didn't get. You probably had a better relationship. Mine's were like, I'd get a thumbs up. I'm like, well, that's not good.
No, if you get a thumbs up from somebody you're
Yeah, that's
seeing,
not
that's not
good.
good.
No, the worst is when you just get a response. K.
Oh, the
Like
K.
you said,
Oh,
K.
K is the worst.
That is
Can't even
the
spell it out.
absolute
That's aggressive.
worst.
Okay, even now,
Yep.
Tommy Lamb in the back likes to do a lot of Ks. And I'm like, what was your problem today?
Michelle will randomly, like, I'll ask her some of this, and if she gives me a thumbs up, I'm like, what are we, bros?
Yeah.
Why am I getting a thumbs
When I
up?
get the K back from my wife, I'm like, she's pissed.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Don't come home.
She is unhappy with me about something.
How was last night?
You mean the game? Being at the game?
Yeah.
I mean, we had Yacht Crew in the suite, so I wasn't able to watch tons of the game.
Well, I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about your guys' experience.
Yacht
looks
Crew
like
was
you
great
guys
today in
were-
studio. They were amazing guys. Again, I've walked up to LeBron and recorded liners with them and never got nervous. But yesterday when they walked in and I saw them coming to the glass, and I was sitting in my first time ever sitting in that seat. I've always refused to sit in that seat, but
Okay.
we had to get everybody in. So it was Cappy in the 2, me in the 1. I was, it's no big deal. But when I saw them, legs started shaking.
Were you a little nervous?
I was nervous. When I met Philly Ocean, I was nervous. I was.
Who would it be? It's Philly Ocean.
This
Exactly.
might be the only thing that Morales has been. No, I'm not surprised at all.
This is their version. This is the Yacht Crew version.
I'm not surprised at all that if you're recording a LeBron liner, that's not that doesn't do anything for you.
Right.
But that surprises me that this is the moment where you're like, I'm a little nervous.
I was. Saywar Hawkins was here. Baba Booey. And then I think the other
Now,
one was,
they always say, Chris, don't meet your heroes. How did this work out for
it was amazing. Yesterday was the
Good.
pinnacle of my career. I've done a lot of things.
Okay.
Worked with a lot of great people. Yesterday was it. That's it.
You know,
Can't get better.
years ago, Brian and I had in 2 of the original Yacht Rock guys in studio for our podcast. So this
From Yacht Crew?
No, from the original, the guys who created
The sound.
the sound and the genre Yacht Rock.
right.
Like years ago, the Channel 101, creating that whole genre. So this building has been a very yacht-free safe space.
Oh, no, it is. And, 710 ESPN night is happening Friday, March 29th at the Whiskey A Go-Go right there on Sunset in Hollywood. Get your tickets now. They're playing 2 nights, Friday and Saturday. Next week, we'll be giving away tickets on the air for 7-10 night. As of now, Mason, Cappy, and I will be bringing them on stage. I've never been on stage at the Whiskey.
Wow.
It's going to be a good night.
You're going to be
much
on
history.
stage with them?
We're bringing them on. Oh, listen.
I thought you meant like performing with them.
Mandy's 4. Cappy and I will perform with them. That's already in. They're going to get the jackets for us.
Why do we have to
I'm gonna
wait till
get the
4?
Well, they can't make Mandy's 3. Flagstaff outbid us. And, I don't want to take money out of people's
No,
pockets.
that's fair. We should all go to Flagstaff.
No, we get the Mandy's that thing.
No, I'm saying we should take the Mandy's.
Take it to Flagstaff?
What is more expensive, to buy them out of the Flagstaff gig,
We don't
or
have that
us,
budget.
or
We don't
us
have that
just
budget.
going to Flagstaff?
For New Year's Eve in San Diego, they're getting over 6 figures to perform.
Yeah, we don't have that budget.
Let me tell you something about the budget, okay? Morales is under tables
Yeah,
down
exactly.
there trying to fix mics.
Getting
okay?
felt up by Sliwa.
Yeah, exactly.
He's closing deals on one side, and then he's under a table
opening
with a
opening
microphone.
partnerships is what we
Opening partnerships.
Amazing.
And then
Opening
you just
partnerships.
feel Slee's hand, like, hey, you need a helping hand?
Question for you. East Central.
Yes, the East Central Hotel, where my stuff is still in my hotel room. It's 10 a.m. Checkout's at 11, right?
Okay, so you're checking out today. You're
Yeah.
done today.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Because I checkout's usually
No, checkout's 11.
isn't it usually 10?
But
10 or 11?
10:30 sometimes.
I've seen noon
It's usually
before.
11.
Yeah.
Okay, usually 11. Are you going to be back there in time? And let's
No,
just say
after-
it's not. Is everything going to be just outside of your room? What are they going to do?
They're going to toss it out the window. It's just going to be outside the
Into
hotel
downtown.
through the window.
There's just a guy there just been waiting. He just always waits. If Morales, I swear if he's a minute late.
No, I think if I walk in and say, hey, guys, I'm room, whatever my room is, across the street at ESPN LA, I had to do, like,
Why don't you see your room on air?
some morning. Well, we did yesterday, Cappy, because Cappy and I have adjoining rooms. I think he's 520, I'm 522, but he's checked out.
They don't close the door. The door opens. The East Central already
There
knows.
isn't even a door. It's the rare adjoining rooms without a door, specifically requested by Morales and
studio.
Cappy.
There's just two techs unbolting the doors. They're like, yeah, no, this is Chris and
So
Kat.
you got those beads that you part.
So yesterday I had this giant knot caused by Steve Mason. We don't need to get into that.
Okay.
So I text Cappy, where are you? Because I needed him to, like, crack me, because he's good at that. There's plenty of videos.
He's here.
Yeah, I know. He goes, I'm back at E making some calls. I said, okay, well, I need to come back to my room to get the Theragun. Let's meet up and walk back. Okay, cool. I get back there. I'm like, where are you? Oh, I'm in my room. I got one more call. I go, should I just come to your room and you can crack me there? He's like, that's too much. I said, okay, we finally reached the line. You don't want to crack me in private, but you'll close the door of my office and crack me there. But okay. That was the line, though.
So nothing got done?
No,
Are
he
you
did
still-
later on.
Okay, he did.
Yeah, and then he rubbed some cream on me.
Hotel room, though, there's a level of intimacy that doesn't exist in an office at 7.
But he cracked me in a hotel room once, but Lindsay was
Cap,
watching.
why are you putting cream on my lower body? I just need my shoulder.
Again, like witnesses. Lindsay was a witness.
Yeah,
Like,
no. I love that Slee is just not trying to talk Lakers in the first segment.
No, this
Nobody's
is good.
expecting
No,
this
is
out of
good.
you.
No, this is good, actually. We're good with this. We
We
got
got to
plenty of
pace
time.
ourselves with that game.
Yeah, we got plenty of
I
time.
wish they paced themselves.
They did. They shot all their bullets in the first 10
The
minutes of the
problem
game.
is they thought they could pace themselves after like the first 8 minutes of the game.
It's like me with the pacer test and presidential fitness or whatever. I would just go so fast at the beginning, not realizing that the point of it is to pace yourself.
Do they still put kids through that horrible thing?
I think so.
Yes, they do.
I think so. Which is
Get out there,
unfortunate.
I did
kid.
Yeah, because you did it like 2 years ago, right, Cody?
Yeah, like
Did you do
Last
this
month.
6-minute mile or whatever?
I think. Oh,
Cody's 14. I don't think people know.
Every day he comes in here, we violate labor laws.
Cody's a freshman in high school right now.
It's for class credit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Again, it's
6th
school
grade
credit.
class credit.
Don't you love how great Cody is blossoming
Oh, Cody's killing it.
under the watchful eye of producer Emily?
Yeah, Cody's killing it. Cody's in the
Super
background.
watchful.
I haven't been able, by the way, since Emily moved to the right side, I can't see her.
Well, no, I know. I dealt with that yesterday, too, with
Okay,
Lindsay.
so you got that. All right. So I haven't seen Emily in a week.
We're trying to fix the left side, but that's why I'm underneath the table. But
Well,
I
you
s-
got these to work.
I got guest 3 to work because we needed it for Yacht crew. But this other one, this is a wiring snafu.
It's not happening.
No, it's going to happen at some point. But I got to go get changed for the day, and I don't want to climb under there when I'm in a suit.
Well, tell me. If you need help or anything, just let me know.
Another careless whisper.
your back.
Another hand.
I have to roll my
You got
sleeves
your
up for that
thigh.
one.
You got his thigh.
Well, my sleeves. All right, we are giving away a 4-pack of tickets to a SoFi Stadium tour. Just listen for the cue to call. One of the cooler prizes that we've been able to give away. When we come back, we're going to have to do it at some point. We're going to talk some Lakers basketball. From up 19 to down 15 in a span of about 7 seconds. worst loss of the season, most critical loss of the season, however you want to describe it. Kind of try to figure out what's going on with the Lakers. We'll do that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, AK in the house, 710 ESPN. All right, for the ones who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
The most followed
the right move? Do you think it's the right strategy?
No. Live from LA Live on 710 ESPN.
All right, this is very. I'm not surprised Cody is playing this. Trying to help us all out, right? Trying to.
I had another song queued up,
Yep.
but it was a sad song. I was like,
No. Let's do this. Let's stick to this.
It was "How to Save a Life" by The Fray.
So easy on me.
All right. Lot going on over the last 12 hours or so around Lakers basketball. By the way, if you're just tuning in right now, Travis Rogers gone. He's doing a little bit of a golf trip, so he'll be back on Monday. Andy Kamenetsky in the house. Let's get a little bit into it. Yesterday was last night not a kind of a perfect description of Lakers basketball all season, where it's just a roller coaster. I think that's the best way that I could describe the Lakers season is they could find a way to handle the Oklahoma City Thunder and look fantastic and only give up 104 points. And then in the very next game, they could have a stage where they're up 19 early and down 15 within a 14-minute span. Just kind of the up and down of the roller coaster. That's just who they are, AK. I think if you try to get too excited about this team or they go into some type of a rhythm, just be aware that could all go away, because that's what the Lakers have been all season long.
Man, the thing we've seen about this team all year is on any given night, unless the opponent is Denver, they can beat anybody. But on any given night, they can lose to anybody.
Unless it's Sacramento. Sacramento might be the same thing as Denver. They're 0-3 against the Kings this year.
Sacramento is starting to turn into, if nothing else, Denver light,
yeah.
Which makes sense because in a lot of ways, Domantas Sabonis is Nikola Jokic light. And both
De'Aaron
of
Fox,
those,
Jamal Murray, a little bit of that, yeah.
And those are two guys who tear up the Lakers on the regular.
Okay, so I want to – there's so many things to kind of get into, and I know there's just natural frustration because the Lakers lose such a critical game. Emily asked this question when we were doing our prep, and I thought it was kind of an interesting way to put it. She said, is this the worst loss of the season? Whatever your definition of the worst loss can be, I would jump to you're down by 30 against Houston, or you're down against Atlanta by 20 right before the trade deadline, and it just didn't seem like it could get any lower. But everyone's definition could be different of what you think is the worst loss. You had a different description of the loss.
I think it's maybe the most costly loss of the year. When you talk about opportunity costs and the Lakers trying to get themselves out, if not out of the play-in, to the upper half of the play-in where you get two cracks at winning one game. It's not impossible now, but they were a game and a half behind Sacramento.
Yeah.
They've got one more game coming up against them next week. Sacramento had not been playing well heading into this game.
Can I stop you there? Last game they played was at home against Chicago. They walked into the fourth quarter up 14 against the Bulls, lost by 4 at home to a team below 500. So to hit on what you're saying, they kind of had these wild swings too, where they've lost to the Bulls, the Pistons, but they've also beat Denver at Minnesota. So you kind of Sacramento, maybe Kings fans are having similar conversations up north about the Lake, similar to the Lakers, where you're not really sure what you're going to get every given night. But continue on.
Yeah, I mean, just the opportunity costs with this loss are massive. Mm-hmm. And the Lakers' schedule does not get any easier moving forward. It seems like the people who rate strength of schedule, all the eggheads and the analytics and whatnot, each week the Lakers' schedule somehow keeps getting harder.
How are we fifth all season? Right. I feel like we need to move a little bit.
Every time they play a hard team, their schedule somehow gets harder. I'm like, we just played the hard team. Like, when does the easy part come? The answer is apparently never.
Yeah. But also, if you're a good team, you should be able to beat other good teams, and you're going to play good teams in the playoffs. So a strength of schedule shouldn't really matter when it comes to the playoffs.
And I think you're right, but I think they're also proving they're not what's your definition of a good team? I would not describe the Lakers as if we're gonna use the word good to only describe kind of the upper echelon, I wouldn't put the Lakers there.
Well, they're certainly not a great team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can be very, very good at times. Mm-hmm. Their top end can be a lot to contend with. But here's something I've been fixating on this a lot on the Locked On Lakers podcast, available 5 days a week anywhere you get your podcast.
Really?
Alan. Yeah, it's never behind a paywall. There's also too
on YouTube.
There is a YouTube component.
A component.
Beautiful.
It is on YouTube. It's available there.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lakers, I'll double check this, but I can't imagine that it's changed.
Okay.
The Lakers are the only team in the entire NBA with a winning record, above 500 and a negative point differential. They're the only one.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. You're right. And you could look at and that's in the entire NBA, because even if you look at the Eastern Conference, Indiana, who's 7 games over 500, sitting in the 8th spot, they got a winning differential. Chicago has a losing differential, but they're below.
The only team in the entire NBA with a record above 500 and a negative point differential. I think it speaks to the swings of this season. I think it speaks to how even when they win games, they rarely win super decisively. They rarely blow teams out.
Yeah.
Like they
That's why that OKC game was like, okay,
yeah,
interesting.
No,
Yep.
that game was incredible, and the Lakers played really well. It was also, though, very unusual. Like, you don't see them often controlling games for double-digit wins, period, but particularly against quality competition like that. They're a team that, when they are right, can look very good, but their margin for error is really, really small. And, their top end does not emerge as much as some of these other teams.
I want to go back to what you said about one of the most costly wins of the season, or costly losses of the season. So this was at stake, and for me personally, I don't think last night was a surprise. One of the things that I had been saying is, I get it. There are a lot of people still talking about the Lakers. They can be very dangerous in the playoffs. I get all the reasons why. They're 10-4 in their last 14 games. I completely understand that. But I thought this week, if you're going to change somebody's mind like myself, I thought this week was going to be fascinating to watch unfold. Took care of Oklahoma City Thunder. Last night, the Lakers, what a lot of people have been saying is, it's not just can you win games to move up in the standings. There's specific games against specific teams. It's almost like you're jumping 2 spots.
Yeah.
Because now I don't have to worry about, did Sacramento lose to another team? I get to play Sacramento, and I could, obviously jump right in front of them. The tiebreaker is done with the Sacramento Kings. They're 3-0 against the Lakers. So whatever you do next week, just so you know that if the Lakers and the Kings have the same exact record, Sacramento's going to get the tiebreaker there. The teams now that you have in front of you that are most realistic, Dallas and Golden State, who have technically in the loss column, a 2-game cushion on you as well. You're still going to get another one against the Golden State Warriors. I can't remember off the top of my head if they still have Dallas left or not.
They don't.
And Dallas has been reeling. They've lost.
Dallas has the tiebreaker over them. They're done playing Dallas.
Okay, and Dallas has lost 3 games in a row. But you know what usually happens to a team that's pretty decent if you lose 3 games in a row? You probably go on a 3-game winning streak as well. We'll see what eventually happens. But the explanation of it's one of the most costly losses. What I think is most frustrating, let's just say the Lakers and the Kings, they just battled it out all night long, and the Lakers end up losing that game. They lost by 3 because Sacramento's a pretty good team as well. You got to kind of give that team credit. What throws me off about this team, I don't remember, and I'm sure it's happened, and I'm sure it's probably even happened this year. That swing to where there's such a high, you're at crypto, you come out ready to go. Does anybody question in the first quarter if the Lakers were ready to go against Sacramento Kings? I don't think anybody did. And you go up by 19 points. Can you help me understand how this team goes from this complete high to almost a level of disinterest, or somebody punches them, gives them an uppercut, and instead of saying, well, okay, give me your next best shot, there's a little bit of they take a step back like, oh, so I got to punch all night?
It felt to me very much so, and Rui said so after the game, and I believe either Darvin or another one of the players said it. They got up 19, and they relaxed. And it was way, way too early to relax against a team that had just as much at stake as them, because Sacramento, if they can,
want to get out of the play-in.
They want to get out of the play-in, or at the very least, they want to have 2 cracks at 1 win to get themselves into the playoffs. Between, I think, the relaxing that also happened at a time when AD ended up being taken out of the game, because for what has been almost every single game since the All-Star break,
trouble.
Picked up 2 early fouls. All 4 of his fouls, I think, were shooting fouls. So it's not even just that he picked up the fouls. He was actually sending somebody to the line on top of it. LeBron said after the game, like what happened, and he said like they made subs, we made subs, talking about how they're subbing in Malik Monk, who went ballistic, or even a guy like Davion Mitchell, who had a really good game.
Great first half, yep.
Versus the Lakers subs, who have just been,
there are no subs. There is no bench.
They've been non-existent in
side.
terms of sometimes the counting stats matter, and the Lakers bench has been giving them no counting stats, but also too like LeBron said, our defense changes radically when AD isn't out there, and I think he mentioned like AD getting a second foul. I think there was a message of like, dude, you can't do that. Like you can't keep doing that because it's not like this is a one-off. And AD for most of this year has avoided foul trouble, much early foul trouble. Ever since the All-Star break, Anthony Davis has been really, really inconsistent after what has been, I think, an incredible season for him. This is the wrong time for AD to all of a sudden become less reliable. This is really bad timing.
Okay, let's do this. But by the way, they let up in the first quarter with 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Just that part is so frustrating to hear, but I don't think you're wrong. I definitely think that there's this is a team that doesn't know how to, when they smell blood, they're like, okay, let's go for the kill. They don't do that.
Or if they're capable.
Or capable.
Both.
Yeah, it could be that. But that piece of it, and then the Anthony Davis conversation. Yeah, AD, that conversation's been interesting. Just even watching these last couple of games. I got some stats for you that I want to share. And I'm talking about the Nuggets game against Jokic, the Kings game against Domantas Sabonis, his numbers compared to them. We got some sound from Anthony Davis that we want to get to as well. We'll do that coming up next. Stay right here. This is the Travis and Sliwa Show, AK in the House, 710 ESPN.
All right, the NCAA tournament is almost here. Slee and I are in matching shirts. And you can come hang out with us at the Dine-In Pizza Hut on Magnolia Avenue in Anaheim on March 22nd. There is Dine-In Pizza Hut still out.
Listen, you eat pizza, you hang out with us.
Win.
College basketball going on. We're giving away a 75-inch 4K TV. Of course, we're going to be giving out specials the entire time. Pizza Hut's going to hook everybody up. What's better?
They have menu hacks that we can talk about. Come on out, hang out with us. Pizza Hut in Anaheim, Magnolia Avenue, March 22nd. Don't
miss out.
That.
is your band, right?
Come
Oh,
on,
yeah.
Cody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is so. I wish that every a movie, some like big intense movies, ended with this. I can't remember what movie did it. It went to black and then played this song. Dune 2 should have ended with this song playing because as she rides. Oh no, never mind.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen this group in concert.
Yeah.
Who are they?
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding
You
me?
know Linkin Park.
Oh, I know who they are.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was Linkin Park.
I was so into
hey,
Linkin Park.
I'm with you.
In middle school.
There was a time where Linkin Park, I don't even care what genre of music you liked. Linkin Park was getting its run on a lot of radio stations.
Oh,
yeah, Jay-Z did a
collab with
them, which is great. And yeah, no, I was a very angsty middle schooler. I listened to Linkin Park at the top of like as high as you can get in my ears going to swim meets.
Not my scene.
Cody, right now, as a freshman in high school as you are, what is the music that's hitting?
The music that's hit. I mean, it's a lot of rap. Like Lil Baby, Gunna.
Lil Baby.
Olivia Rodrigo.
Not to be
Olivia
confused with
Rodrigo.
DaBaby.
Yeah. Olivia Rodrigo, Tate McRae, Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor.
Love a little baby.
Now,
I don't know why I get so lazy. I love a little baby.
now, is it DaBaby or Lil Baby that James Harden's friends with?
I think he's friends Lil Baby.
Well, he's really tight with one of them. Like
He's
one of
tight
them,
with Lil Baby.
he gave like $500,000 as a birthday gift,
Yeah. I think that's Lil Baby.
or $100,000. It was the honey bun. Or
It's
he
also
gave,
Lil
like, a
Baby.
stack
I
of
hate it
honey
when people
buns.
say like Lil Wayne. It's Lil Wayne.
No, it's
There's
Little
no
Wayne.
T's.
Little Wayne.
People say Lil
Wait,
Wayne. I'm
so-
like, when
so
did you ever?
Who'd you say Harden was good buddies with?
It's either DaBaby or Lil
It's
Baby.
Lil Baby.
Okay, yeah,
Lil Baby.
because there was that
Pronounced
video.
The Baby.
This is good.
There was that video at the club where he gave
The club.
the club. He gave
You can find
Lil
me
Baby
in the club.
in the
Bottle
club.
full of bub.
Well, again, I cannot just in describing casual conversation. Like if you ask me what's the name of the 50 Cent song, the 50 Cent song,
okay, wait, but-
I would say in the club.
Yeah,
but I'm
but-
not going to in casual conversation say in the club because I will
No,
sound
I'm
like
with
I'm
you on
trying
that.
too hard.
I'm with you on that.
I will absolutely sound like I'm trying too hard. But there's that clip of Harden giving Lil Baby a birthday gift.
Yeah.
And it was a stack of honey buns, which is $100,000. I don't remember how many stacks there were, but that was part of the gift. I believe.
Well,
he gave
that's
him actual
because
honey buns.
they room together. They have an apartment together, and he owed him rent. So he was just trying to get him his money.
By the way, Aaron Palmer pointed out that the in the end is how Transformers end. And again, Transformers, that soundtrack was also the soundtrack to my middle school era. So,
There it is.
any Transformers heads?
I am.
No.
Love it.
My wife is actually.
Yeah, I liked the first Transformers. I haven't
Call
watched
her.
anything yet past. Yeah, get her on the line.
All right, I want to play some AD sound from yesterday's game. And, AK, you were talking about this, that Anthony Davis, since the All-Star break, listen, I could tell you, and I look at the Nuggets game where I know every game that the Lakers play, all of us are very dramatic, and we're like, oh, my God, it's the most important game. Well, it's important because they've put themselves in a position. And I hate people that say, hey, they're fine. You know, all they got to do is get in the play-in tournament. Just remember, the 2 times they were in the play-in tournament, they were number 7 seeds. All you had to do was win 1 game to get in. They're sitting at 10th right now. There's a drastic difference between 7 and 10. So
You are never fine when you are in the bottom half of this draw. Like the
wait,
Lakers
but-
are not playing possum right now for the rest of the league.
do you listen to some of these Laker players, even Anthony Davis? Even
yeah.
Anthony Davis saying, hey, the standings don't matter. And I feel like the way they play on a night in, night out basis, it gives you the impression that the standings are not important to
Of
them.
overconfidence?
It gives you the impression of, guys, we could beat anybody on any given night. We got to the Western Conference Finals last year. I hate that strategy and that thought process, but they do play like that.
You know, it's interesting. AD, after the Oklahoma City win, said that, they weren't worried about seeding. And at the time, I didn't really think much of it other than, it expresses some degree of confidence after that big win over AKC, but also just the idea that they kind of can't worry about it because there's no chance of them getting like home court and in any matchup they're going to have, like other than, I guess, a ton of upsets happening. Like they're going to be a road team throughout probably the entirety of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Other than maybe something weird happens, they get into the finals against against a lower Eastern seed. But like, they're going to be playing on the road a lot, so you have to adopt the idea that you can't worry about it. So why sweat it? Like this is our fate. We're going to have to deal with it. But you also wonder, does it cut both ways? Where you're like, well, if it doesn't matter, why do we have to be so urgent about it? Like, why do we have to play with sort of that type of urgency, game to game to game, when we're still going to be the road team regardless?
Yeah,
like it could cut both ways.
It could cut both ways, but certainly it's not going to serve them well. And I'm sure they walked into yesterday's game against Sacramento thinking in their mind, guys, even after all this, we got a chance to be 6 games over 500. We got a shot to now put ourselves in a position where, at the absolute worst, Sacramento, Dallas, Golden State, and the Lakers, you don't know what that shuffle is going to look like.
You win this game yesterday, the 6 doesn't seem out of the question. Because at that point, you're only half a game behind Sacramento.
Sure.
I don't know where they fall versus Dallas or whatever, but you're at that point maybe even with Dallas. I mean, they're a game behind Dallas now, so they could be even with Dallas. Like, all of a sudden, you win last night. Getting out of the play-in doesn't seem impossible. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen,
but it looks like
a whole lot needs to go
It's got to go your
right.
way. And you got to win. All right, take a listen here. Here's Anthony Davis talking about the second quarter where they were only outscored 44-20, where it was only, take the 10-0 run that the Kings had at the end of the first quarter, plus the 44-20, just a 54-20 run over a course of 14 minutes. Take a listen to Anthony Davis.
The game that we needed. Like I said, we came out with all the energy on both ends of the floor. And then the second quarter dictated the game. Some of the things we were in defensively allowed them to allow De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk to get whatever they want, live in the paint. I go help, then Sabonis is wide open. So they did a good job manipulating what we were doing.
All right, that's Anthony Davis talking about the second quarter. AK, you were talking a little bit about it. The can't stay on the floor. Now, he had 4 fouls, so it's not like Anthony Davis fouled out of the game, but they were treating every foul as if the world was about to end. And I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, it's like, all right, you're not going to win this game unless Anthony Davis is in the game. Take your chances. But the thing, more than anything else I want to throw your way, the Lakers clearly go as AD goes. And these last couple of games, when you needed Anthony Davis to have a special night, or just Anthony Davis, at least put your numbers, put your season average numbers up. Nikola Jokic on Saturday against Anthony Davis, 35 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Okay, it's Jokic. That happens. My issue is Anthony Davis, 17 and 11. That's not an Anthony Davis type of night. All right, let's go to last night. Lakers taking on, obviously, the Sacramento Kings. While Domantas Sabonis, and maybe his stats don't look unbelievable, is a triple-double. No.
Look unbelievable.
I'm with you that they are unbelievable. Somebody might look at it and say, oh, he only had 16 points. He had 20 rebounds and 12 assists. You felt his impact throughout the entire game. Anthony Davis on the other end, 14 points and 11 rebounds. What have you thought of AD versus Jokic, AD versus Sabonis? And again, I'm going to go back to it. I'm not saying if he dropped 35 and 15, amazing, great. But at the absolute worst, you got to at least put up your numbers, your average numbers throughout the year.
Look, if he gets outplayed by Jokic, it's obviously disappointing, and depending to the degree that he gets outplayed like he was Saturday, that could mean the difference between a win and a loss. But it's Nikola Jokic. Like, Jokic outplays the entire league. I think he's the best player in the league. I think he's the most matchup-proof player in the league. Like, he's just a problem for everybody Denver plays. AD has been consistently getting outplayed by Domantas Sabonis. Like,
somebody's pulling up a stat. Darren Pollock, I don't know if this is 100%. AD 0-9 career versus Sabonis?
Maybe.
Wow. I don't know if that's right. I
mean, it might go back to his time in Indiana, and I'd have to look at what those teams were when he was, if it includes like the Pelicans. But Sabonis, for example, 3 games this year, he's averaging 19 points, 17 rebounds, 8 assists. Like, he is averaging almost a triple-double against the Lakers this year. I'm looking up his numbers last year because I know last year he also kicked the crap out of the Lakers. Last year he averaged almost 20 points a game, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, doing it efficiently. Like, he's not a super high-volume player. And in certain respects, he's Nikola Jokic light. Like, he doesn't have the outside shooting range, but he's a very versatile player, but he's also a very physical player.
Yeah.
Like Nikola Jokic. And it starts becoming an example of good matchups for AD versus bad matchups for AD, and how much the bad matchups can really take him out of a game. Because Sabonis, frankly, has owned AD, even though AD's a better player, I think, overall than Sabonis. Sabonis has been just killing him.
And listen, I'll say that, and there's just no excuses for the Lakers right now. They're not in a position where they can say, well, Anthony Davis just didn't have it going tonight. Or they're not in a position, and yes, Nikola Jokic is, again, I'm going to go back to this, what I said. He's the best player in the NBA. I'm not saying you got to outplay Jokic, but you got to at least play your game, because you know that's how difficult it's going to be to beat Denver. You can't get outplayed by Sabonis as consistently as it feels like he has been outplayed by Sabonis.
There's no feels like it's happened.
They're 0-3 against the Sacramento Kings this year. If the Lakers are going to go with Anthony Davis, how he goes, the Lakers go, well, in 2 critical games, this stage of the season, those are not performances that you can have and feel comfortable that you're going to get a W, and those are 2 L's for the Lakers. All right, hey, fool, or what do we call it now? What's up, brah?
What's up, Brad? Did you see?
What's up, brah? Did you see? With Cody. Coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
Ones who get it done.
And it is Travis and Sliwa, and it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I saw it, I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see? So, hey, did you happen to see? It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this? Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
All right, just moving forward, AK, just so you know, when you talk to Cody, it's what's up, brah.
Brah.
Yeah. And if you don't say that, he won't answer.
Well, that's what the kids are saying.
Yeah.
That's how the kids talk.
Yeah.
I couldn't say Buenos Dias, apparently. Travis is a hater.
Yeah.
Buenos
Right about that.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Call him. Call him right now.
Should I call him?
FaceTime him.
As somebody with a 12-year-old, my daughter, you hear a lot of brah.
Yeah, no,
The kids really do say
brah's
brah.
back. Brah's back. Yeah.
That's what's in with high
Brah,
schoolers.
breh.
That's what they're
When
saying.
I
around.
go to Sprouts and I get to the cashier, I say, "So, brah."
I get called blood a lot.
Whoa.
What's up, blood? I'm like, what?
Yep. Interesting terms there.
All
Over
right,
to you, Cody.
All right, guys. This is pretty big news. This is the food show here at 710 ESPN. I think this is pretty big news, at least for Californians. So, are you guys a fan of Soup Plantation?
No.
No. Why not?
Okay, quick for me. Just I haven't been to Soup Plantation a really, really long time, but I have nothing against soup. And if somebody said, "Hey, Al, want to go grab some?"
I have a lot against plantations, though. I want to make that very clear.
Very, very
Tons against plantations.
Yep. But if you said, "Al, let's go to Soup Plantation for lunch," I would go. I got no problem with that. I just haven't been in a long time.
I've never been because it's been closed since I have
so
lived here.
all the locations in California had closed down. I think right around the pandemic. I mean, all buffets were closed. But there's a Soup Plantation-like restaurant opening up in the IE in Rancho Cucamonga, I think. It's called Soup and Fresh, and basically it's the same concept. Everything is pretty much the same. I think it's in an old location that Soup
They
Plantation.
literally copied them with
Pretty
everything.
much,
they
right?
have all the ingredients for all the soup.
No, it's literally
All
I think
the same old
it's
soups
a
when they
carbon copy
closed.
of Soup Plantation. But I'm
They
surprised.
took the furniture from the closed Soup Plantations and put it into soup. And all right, keep going.
I think there's another one down in San Diego as well. But I wanted to get your reaction. Rancho Cucamonga is like what, about an hour drive from LA, hour 20?
Okay.
Would you guys go down and try it?
I think this is more of a conversation. How far are you willing to drive to try anything? So whether it's if you want to
Like
go
if you
and
really
tell
want
me,
to have something.
yeah, if you want to go down to Rancho Cucamonga and
It will not
go
be
try,
for soup.
go try this soup,
Tell you that.
you can go do
What
that.
if it was Soup and Fresh? Come on.
Yeah, super fresh. The pizza bread, the cheese bread,
Absolutely. No.
salad.
Okay, let me give you an example. I live in Pasadena. To go from Pasadena to Santa Monica, it's gonna take a little time.
Yeah.
Right? Or to go from Pasadena down to Anaheim, it's going to take a little time. So even if, let's take the Rancho Cucamonga part out of it. I'm not driving that far unless I have to. So unless, sometimes Michelle will say, "Hey, we got to go to a dinner. It's this, that." I'm like, "Do you know how far that is from Pasadena?" I don't have a choice. I have to go. I'm not going because of the restaurant. I'm going because I have to go. So I'm probably not going to be visiting that place.
Look, man, I live in L.A. proper. There is no way that the soups at this Soup and Fresh are going to be better than what I can get 5 minutes from me.
At Panera Bread.
That is, yes. If I want chain soup, I can just go get
It's different,
Panera.
though. It's the experience.
Bro, are you
The
trying
salad.
to live or no?
Well, here's the other problem. I mean, is this like the makers of the original Soup Plantation, or are they just following the model?
The article that I read, it didn't say anything about
Okay.
it. It's just like it was a Soup Plantation. Like,
So they ripped them off.
pretty. I don't know.
No,
my
but it's
favorite.
very important to me that it's not the actual Soup Plantation people, because the actual Soup Plantation used to make me sick.
Really?
Yes, every single time I ever went,
What were you
like
getting?
clockwork.
Clam chowder?
I mean,
Chicken noodle
soup and salad's all they had.
Oh, the pizza bread. The pizza bread. It's critical. I can't believe you guys don't.
I don't
like
think
Soup
you're getting this,
Plantation.
Andy. The pizza bread.
Yeah, it's
Come
the
on.
pizza bread.
I can make pizza bread, man.
Oh,
I don't
know
Okay,
that.
you can make it.
Yes, I can.
There's an ad out here. I don't know if this is where you read the story. So, Eater, Los Angeles. I don't know what the target audience is, But I do love that he mentioned it.
Families.
Look at the ad here of who basically is in line right now.
Just sneezing all over everything.
It's two
touching
older
everything.
women.
Blue hairs.
Yeah,
Look at that. You
they
see
are
the
doing
edamame
their
right
thing,
there?
and all I see is corn, edamame, and garbanzo beans. So
Ew.
if we're driving
I'm
out
in.
that far to go do that, yeah, I'm not much of a.
Come on,
I'm not
for the
driving. I'm not driving.
Heather
for
and Betty.
soup.
It'll be me, Heather, and Betty.
It's got to
in
be
the
some
line.
exotic
Okay, we
soup.
went to Olive Garden for the bit. That's 15 minutes away.
Right. Like, look, the soup may be okay. I'm not saying that it's automatically bad soup over in Rancho, but like, it's got to be some pretty exotic
Can we get
soup.
the manager on?
Let's get him.
Yeah, have him sell me on driving an hour and 20 minutes.
You know, it'd be
So-
amazing if we had him on, and it was just a great sales job. Both you and I'm like, I got to go right after the show.
I have and will in the future drive an hour and a half for the bit.
Yes.
I will drive an hour and a half for a bit because I don't have kids. I don't have much
Yeah.
else to do. What else am I supposed to do with my
Soup
time?
and salad, baby.
I'll get that soup and salad. So I did this
So
in
when
Virginia.
are you going?
I don't care about this though. So this bit isn't for me.
Hmm.
I care about. I drove an hour and a half for good bagels when I lived in Virginia.
Wow.
To my where I went to school. I went from my hometown to school and back for bagels in one day.
There's a soup plantation, I believe, in La Mesa down in San Diego, which is La Mesa borders El Cajon, where I grew up. So if I need to go drive in one direction, I'm driving 2 hours down to El Cajon, and I will stop by at the local soup plantation
Do it.
there. Probably not going to Rancho Cucamonga. Probably not doing that. You got another one there?
I do.
Okay.
So this is an interesting story. So a man from California was staying at a hotel in Las Vegas, and so he was staying. It was overnight.
I just heard man staying at a hotel. I was like, Chris
so a guy
Morales.
from
Yeah.
a guy from Agora Hills actually. So he was staying at one of the luxurious hotels in Vegas, and when he woke up, he felt this sharp pain. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was a sharp pain in his family jewels, and he went under the covers and he looked what was happening, and a scorpion
What are we doing
bit
here?
him
What is this?
in his family
Cody.
jewels.
It's a family show here, man.
That's why I said family
oh
jewels.
my gosh. Okay.
He means testicles, Al.
Whoa! I didn't say that. I didn't say
I
all
thought he
that.
meant toes.
I just want to make sure you understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So he's still,
Was he
still
sleeping
has,
naked?
So I don't. No, he actually had
okay.
boxers on.
Okay.
So it went inside.
That's
the
why
box.
you
The
got to go
scorpion.
boxer brief.
Right.
It's a little tighter.
Yes.
Travis would be in trouble in this scenario. He tells her nothing. He's not wearing anything. Yeah, wearing nothing.
So he still has medical issues.
I'm sure he does.
He felt
I'd have mental issues.
extreme pain when he woke up, and he's now suing that current hotel now. So yeah.
What's the question?
There's no question. I just want to get your guys' reaction.
Hey,
I don't-
did
I
you
don't-
see this?
Yeah, I just want to get your guys'
I
reaction.
haven't
There's no
seen
question
it.
to that.
My reaction is I don't have much of a reaction.
guess
Like
the-
I'm already in pain.
The
I'm
question
already
is,
kinda
have you guys
thinking
ever
of-
been stung anywhere besides that?
anything.
Yeah, by anything. Sure, we'll go with that. Because I
Okay,
hope you guys
so-
haven't been
so
stung in your
First off,
In your family jewels.
yeah, your family jewels. Thank you.
that is the most. That's not a good story. Like to go from the soup story to that story, I wasn't expecting the. You know what this is like? This is like first quarter up 19 to down 15 before you know it.
This is the bed equivalent of the stories you always hear about the person sitting on a toilet and realizing there's a snake inside the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hear about those stories all the time. People discovering that as they sit down.
Like Cody's Python.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
Like Cody's Python.
It's actually Cody's next thing that he was going to bring up.
like that is an absolutely terrifying story. Just in the idea of the pain, the location.
He was bit 3 to 4 times.
Ooh.
So it wasn't even just once. It was like 3 to 4 times.
Take a little break here. Need some time to recover from this. No, I've never. The worst bite I've ever
Like a
had.
bee?
Yeah, I've got stung by a wasp. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
I have been bitten by a snake.
Whoa.
Yes.
But that was on purpose.
Yes.
You
It's a fetish.
challenged. You
Yes.
challenged the snake.
I actually, I was
what
doing
happened?
summer camp.
Yeah.
I was younger, and we used to do these like rafting or canoeing down one of the rivers in Missouri. And you know this, by the way, a very different time that the counselors, most of them were like teenagers and not paying any attention. They would allow the campers, if we saw random snakes, to try to catch them. And I tried to catch one of these snakes, and it bit me. I used to also, in the nature lodge at this camp, I would try to tame the snakes that they caught.
Okay.
But that was just, you would wear gloves, like thick gloves, and they would just bite until they eventually realized it doesn't bother you, and they stop biting, they start becoming calm. But this snake on the river, I did try to catch myself, and it bit me.
Did you sue him?
I did sue him.
All right, when we come back, Berg looks like he wants to talk some Dodgers baseball, so we're gonna get into this. Yamamoto gave up 3 runs. Was it 3 runs yesterday? No, I actually ended up giving up 5. 5 runs? I think 5 runs he ended up giving up. Kind of interesting. How much can you really take away from spring training? I don't know. I don't think there's too much you could take away. But Greg was telling me, we were in the hallway about an hour ago or so, and he's worried about certain areas on the field he's got some concerns about. We'll do that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
The Mid-Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
All right, T-Raj out. Probably enjoying a nice round of golf as we speak here. He'll be back on Monday. Andy Kamnitsky in the house. What's going on, Berg?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good.
Is the microphone working today? Because it wasn't yesterday. Good.
No,
Look at
it's
that.
solid.
Look at
Wait,
that.
I thought I thought it was all fixed yesterday.
It was fixed all yesterday. You never know at this place if it's just going to go out one day. Just randomly. So I'm just making sure.
I feel like you and Morales are making sure they're all working.
Yeah. Morales,
So-
you saw him. He was underneath.
Oh, I saw him. I
desk
helped him.
doing his thing.
Yeah, I helped him. I
getting
spotted
pretty,
him.
A little bit high up on that leg there, buddy.
Do you ever see that? And I haven't gone to the gym enough here lately to have this happen to me. Those people spotting others at the gym, right? And like the motivational talk during it. Come on, 3 more.
You can do it.
One
Two
more rep,
more.
bro.
Give me everything you got. Give me
Yeah.
everything you got.
And like they're only doing the bar. It's like we're literally warming up.
There are some guys who just hang out at the gym and all they do is spot. They don't do any workout whatsoever.
They're just hey, here's
That's a
spot
good point.
today.
And they're like watching like, oh, yep, he needs a spot right there. I'm going in. Like he goes in.
That's like their day
Whoa,
at
whoa,
the gym.
too much.
They feel like they're involved. All they're doing is spotting.
I used to go and
You got one too many 25s on there, buddy. Let me get you.
using the gym.
Like Mike Thompson there. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Buddy, too many plates on there, buddy.
He's taking a plate off while he's lifting. I used to go to
Gotta
the
get some
gym.
balance there, buddy.
At San Diego State, there used to be the gym that they had there. It was pretty decent, but there'd be like a couple TVs. You could even play if you wanted. They'd have like a setup for PlayStation if you want to play. There are times where I'm like, I'd go to the gym and I find myself just sitting on one of the couches watching TV. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is going to be good
You're
for my
watching
gym.
TV at the gym.
The only thing I needed was them to sell like some chips and some Snickers. I'm like, this is a nice afternoon.
Get some popcorn, a bunch of butter on there.
I remember
Get a remote.
there was a gym that I used to go to.
Lazy
There
boy.
would be this guy in there regularly who was always dressed in jeans, like not quite dress shoes, but certainly not workout shoes.
Yeah.
And sunglasses. I'm like, this man is not serious about his workout. And I would always see him, whatever he was, finger quotes, doing in the gym.
Yeah.
It was always something where you're seated. Like, where you could sit at like the butterfly thing.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can spend a lot of time just sitting or like leg press. You're sitting.
Yeah, I'd always
He's
say
skipping leg day.
Well, but he was never skipping sitting day or jeans day.
I wanted to make it always sound like I knew what was going on. So if I'm sitting on the butterfly machine, it's like somebody asked, hey, how many more sets do you have? Or can I work in? I'm like, I have 8 more sets. Like, nobody does 8 sets, okay? If you're going to lie, go with 3.
Were you loud at the gym? So when you're doing the butterfly,
It's impossible because if you looked at the weight that I was lifting, it's like you can't.
5 pounds.
He can't be loud. He can't be loud. I know we want to talk a little Dodgers, but before we do, we were talking Lakers. You're at the game yesterday.
Kinda.
I love the kinda. Does he know the story of kinda?
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I love our ESPN LA suite. It's amazing. Like you get to
By the way,
talk
these
to a
are
bunch of people.
Listening to the issues he has right now. Like this is the best.
It's not even.
No, but
an
it's the
issue.
best because the way you're going to describe it, there's no way that it doesn't come off like that's a good life.
It is good.
Yeah.
It's amazing up there, and I love it, and I love the view, and
Go
I
ahead,
love the
tell.
people in it, and everything. When you're in the ESPN LA suite, you are not there to watch the game. You are there to network, and you're there to talk to partners and be a part of everything that's going on in there. You're not there to see the game. So I was at the game, kinda.
In the suite, there's the TV there that has a game on.
Yes, you can see that.
Yeah, Greg does presentations on there during the game. He actually closes. There's blinds that he closes, so nobody in the suite can actually watch the game anymore.
I have one of those pens that you pull out and go, okay, if you look right here.
This is why Sliwa is awful. It's always me. It always goes back to me.
It does.
So go to the suite. So the suite, it's just tough to focus on.
It's just tough to focus on the game itself. I still get to watch some of the game, and then I go home and I watch highlights. I try to watch the game back.
Yeah,
you can watch it again in the morning on Spectrum Sportsnet. So Sportsnet LA. It's like you can still watch it. So yes,
but while it's happening,
yes,
100%. That was the same thing when I was in sales and we're there with partners. You're making sure they're all good to go. But there were plenty of times I'm like, can you just give me a second? If Julius Randle doesn't grab a rebound, but you can't watch the game. Like there is no focus on the game.
I remember when the Lakers won the 2000 championship, I was bartending in Westwood, and I was bartending the night of Game 6 where they won the whole thing, and it was a pretty tight game. And like the last 3 or 4 minutes of that game, I was just like every single person trying to flag you down. I'm like, no, I see you. I'm just ignoring
you. I just need to see the game.
Like
you see what's happening here.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait. Like I get it. You're pissed. You're going to be pissed in 5 minutes. Whatever. Just wait or go somewhere else. Don't care.
What were your takeaways of the game last night?
I thought it was basically exactly what I thought it was going to be for weeks now. For whatever reason, and I think Andy, you might be able to explain it better as. Domantas Sabonis just absolutely owns Anthony Davis. Every single time they play, he is 1,000 times better. And now it's starting to look like it's not just Domantas Sabonis. I don't know if it's on the defensive end or just rebounding in general, because Nurkic had, 22 rebounds against him the other night? So these
31
bigs,
a couple games later.
They're physical bigs.
Right.
It's not just that they're big men or whatever. It's their physical.
They like contact, too.
Yeah. Nurkic, Jokic, Sabonis, like these are all very physical players. Like, look, Ivica Zubac has had good games against AD, whether the Lakers won or not.
18, 20 rebounds.
Zubac is another very physical player. Those are players that can give AD some problems.
has had good games against them.
So what is there? And again, Andy, I want your opinion on it. Like, what is there something that Anthony Davis is doing wrong in these situations? Is it game plan? Is it Darvin Ham's setup? Is it what is it actually that's causing him to not be so? He's so great in so many different ways, but not against those guys.
I think in general he doesn't handle physicality extremely well. I think also of late, because some of these games you're mentioning, that physicality is in part why he's gotten into early foul trouble. And when he gets into early foul trouble, I think it affects the way he plays the rest of the game. Whether it's because he's cautious about picking up other fouls, or he's angry because he feels like the fouls were BS or whatever, I think he often gets into problems for the rest of the game if the early part doesn't go well for him. Or he sees what happens when he gets off the court, because usually it's bad.
Yeah, it's not good. And then they have no other size. Jackson Hayes is not really size.
But I think it's, and this is kind of the Lakers, I think, in a nutshell in a lot of these games, if you dictate physicality to the Lakers, I don't feel like they punch back the way if they're the ones initiating it. And I'm going to use Anthony Davis as an example. Lakers last night initiated, came out, great start, doing whatever they were doing, go up by 19 points. When you counterpunch the Lakers, there is this little bit like, okay, wait, so they're going to fight back? Then you kind of start looking at the body language of the team. Finally, when a timeout is called, I don't know when Darvin Ham called a timeout, like he was saving them for the upcoming game against the Bucks.
You have to take your hands out of your pockets to actually say timeout.
Okay, but
you're allowed to yell.
I mean,
maybe Darvin, no.
I
have timeouts.
I was telling him, in the second half, Lakers would go on a run, a 7-0 run, 8-0 run, but they were still up 12. Mike Brown, before timeout. Let's pause everything. Let's stop everything here. But it's just almost the psyche of the team. You could just tell when they're probably going to start losing a game, and I think that Anthony Davis has a lot to do with that as well.
There were two guys last night that I thought definitively showed up with the right mentality, the right continued focus, and also brought their game. It was LeBron and it was Rui.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought everybody else, some were better than others, but they did not bring everything they needed to for the entirety of that game. I mean, clearly the starting five was ready for that game, but then I think they relaxed. Rui said as much after the game. And then once they allowed Sacramento to get into rhythm, combined with the stuff that was going on with AD, combined with the fact that the bench now just does not produce at all in terms of counting stats. The counting stats, there's a reason we count them. They do matter to some degree. There's a lot that went wrong the minute the Lakers allowed themselves, I think, to let up at all.
And you can't do that against teams like Sacramento. Sacramento is a good team. They were third in the West.
They also
last
had
year.
They have as much to play for as the Lakers.
That's the thing.
Lakers would have been half game back if they would have lost. So,
but it's so
that's
easy
that mentality.
It's so easy for us to talk about the standings, and we forget, Sacramento's got something to play for too.
No, absolutely, and they do, and they're a good team, and this is why there's a bunch of teams in the West that, if the Lakers do get out of the play-in and have to play one of these top teams, maybe not Minnesota now with Cat gone for however long he's going to be gone.
They play them, by the way, on Sunday. They play Minnesota on Sunday.
That was a huge break. Huge break for the Lakers there.
Assuming they cash in on it.
Yeah, assuming, yes. But those teams, and I know John Ireland loves to say it, nobody wants to see the Lakers in the playoffs. I don't know if that's true or not. I think that, look, sorry to interrupt, but it's Minnesota, if they have Cat, I think that's a bad matchup for the Lakers. Sacramento, bad matchup for the Lakers. Denver is obviously a bad matchup for the Lakers.
Yep.
Despite the fact that they beat the Clippers 3 times, that's still a bad matchup because of Zubac's, what you're saying, how he can be physical with Anthony Davis and get him off his
Clippers
game.
Just have incredible non-talent.
And they're just a good team, right? All the teams in front of them, if Phoenix is healthy and with Nurkic playing physical like that, that's a bad matchup for them. You have too many good players all around there. It's just, I don't see any team that's above them that they are going to just say, yeah, we can beat that team. Maybe Oklahoma City, but even then, I don't think so.
I'm with you on it's too casual of, they just get in and watch out for the Lakers. We've watched them through, they have, 18 games left this season.
Here's the thing.
It's as large of a sample size as you can get on a team.
If you're asking me if I think John is right, that most teams will not want to, other than maybe Denver, because clearly Denver enjoys playing the Lakers.
Yeah,
but
they mess around with them. They don't care.
But other than Denver, if you're asking me if any team around the league would prefer not to see LeBron or AD in the playoffs, I think the answer is yes, because those are two very good playoff-proven players. But that's not the same thing as being afraid of it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't think any team is afraid of the Lakers or afraid of LeBron and AD. You may not want to see them, but
it's a better way to put it.
Well, I mean, look, the flip side is, what team exactly do you want to see in the West?
I mean, you don't want to see the Warriors.
Who sounds fun to see in the? I mean, the Kings are probably the team that gets the least amount of that.
Maybe Dallas. And
even
Dallas, you got Luka, right?
You got Kyrie.
And you got Kyrie. In any game, they can. It's not like Luka hasn't upset other teams in the playoffs before.
If fear even exists at this level, because I think it's really rare where it feels like one team's afraid of the others, like the We Believe Warriors when they took out the number one Mavs, the Mavericks were scared of those Warriors. It was obvious.
They were too fast, too athletic.
Well, I think they were intimidated by them. Yeah. That's rare that you see that. Other than Denver, I don't know if there's any team in the West that another team might be just dude, I don't want a piece of that at all.
Yeah, and the league is it's almost comical to watch NBA right now. Let me use the Warriors as an example. They lose by 52 against Boston. Right. Yesterday they blow out the Bucks.
No Giannis at least, but still.
No, Giannis was there.
Oh, was
Giannis was there yesterday. Yeah, I'm almost 100% Giannis was there.
I thought he was injured.
He ended up playing.
Oh.
But so the only reason why I mention that is there's also no way to predict the NBA right now. There's no way to predict. There are so many teams that, yes, you got your upper echelon team. I get it. It's probably the Celtics and the Denver Nuggets. Those are the two picks that everybody would, consider to be the favorites on both sides. But everybody else, there's, a lot in between. Okay, we've talked about this, kind of one of my favorite things to do. Basically, if the Dodgers, this is how Greg describes the Dodgers. Okay, Bergman says that, let's say the Dodgers...
I want the whole world. I want it now.
Yeah, let's say the Dodgers are a 14-bedroom, 18-bathroom home.
That's too small.
It's not even too small. He wants to...
That's like Ohtani's room. His room is just a bunch of rooms and bathrooms.
You can afford it.
He wants to remodel...
In 10 years.
He wants to remodel the guest bathroom. But because of that, he's actually leveling the whole guest house. And it sounds like you got some concerns about the Dodgers.
They're
a team that, by the way, is... If there are any holes, you're going to find a way to point them out. So we'll do that. We'll do that coming up next. So stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
The black and gold.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Sliwa.
But do you think it's the right move? Do you think it's the right strategy?
No. Live from LA Live on 710 ESPN.
Can't replace him with cheap imitations of these generations.
All right, just a quick reminder here. We are giving away a 4-pack of tickets to a SoFi Stadium tour. Just listen for the cue to call. Berg in the house here hanging out. AK in the house hanging out. Trav on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. All right, can you tell us a little bit about your what's the problem with the Dodgers? What are you worried about here?
So it's look, obviously
What's wrong with the guest bathroom
it's
tile?
a bit of a nitpick, but as Andy mentioned, I think we went to break though, so we didn't hear it, but as Andy mentioned, I am the host of the Blue Review along with Parker Bell, and Marcus Grant was on there with me today and has been on for a little while.
There's a YouTube component to your show as well.
It is all YouTube component. So yes, that is my job. I have to find the nitpicks. I have to find the little problems.
And the expectations are to win a World Series and to go on some type of a run. So I get that.
Absolutely. And when you bring in a guy like Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto and Glasnow, and you pay two guys over $1.1 billion, yeah. Of course, you have to be perfect almost to be and win a World Series. That's what it's all about. But I think there is a legit problem that they have.
What is it? Is it
the left side
hot
of the
dogs? Is it the parking?
Don't get me started on the hot dogs. You know the hot dogs are a problem. But it's the left side of the infield. The left side of the infield is a legit problem. Gavin Lux is not a good shortstop. Okay. He's not a good defensive shortstop.
Dodgers know
in
that.
The slightest.
He's 100% unproven.
He's 100% unproven, and he also can't throw to first base right now. He was injured. He was injured, but this is a problem before he got injured as well. Mm-hmm. If you go,
you're going to need to do that as a shortstop.
Yes.
Can you run it down? Can he sprint over there if he has enough time? Because he doesn't want to throw it over there.
Is this like a yips thing, or
so it kind of feels like a yips thing. He's not able to throw to first. He had him twice yesterday, either 2 hops to first base or 1 hop to first base.
Spring training.
No,
these are basic.
Yamamoto has
these are
5
basic
earned runs.
things.
Do you think that he's going to fail?
Get in there.
No. This, by the way, go look at what actually happened to see how he gave up those 5 runs.
Sure.
Now Yamamoto was not great. He had 3 walks. That was his fault. Yeah, he walked 3 guys. He couldn't find the plate.
Did
had
have
rough
a little
first inning.
bad luck of the ball come back or hitting him. And
look at the left side of the infield. And I'm going to send you to somewhere. You can go look at it right now. Go to Pitching Ninja. He has all 5 of the runs given up by Yamamoto and how they happened. They were all to the left side of the infield and didn't even leave the infield at all because it went to the only time it did leave the infield. He had an infield single to the right side that was just a clean hit, and then there was 1 hit to short or to third base, and Max Muncy just short hopped it, couldn't get it, and it went in for a double. Everything was on the left side of the infield. Now these 2 guys, Max Muncy and Gavin Lux, are bad defensive players. They just are. Okay, so what's the balance there? Because their offense is very good.
What I was going to say is, what's more important then? Muncy's going to hit 30-plus home runs. That's kind of that's.
I think he has 36 last year.
You feel good that he's going to be
absolutely
a bat. Now that doesn't mean he's going to bat for a high average or anything like that, but that's okay. That's kind of what you get with Max Muncy. Gavin Lux was put into that position last year because they didn't re-sign Corey Seager, and Trey Turner eventually left. And then here is you're putting Gavin Lux there. He gets injured in spring training, so you basically had to kick the can down the road for a year. He's got a good bat as well. What's the balance of saying, do we want defensive players there to take care of what you're referring to, or we'll take our chances and figure it out as we go?
So when you start to game plan against the Dodgers, you have to find all the weaknesses. And the weakness, if it is the entire left side, that is now a legit weakness that you can exploit.
So, but if that is a weakness throughout the season, wouldn't the Dodgers just put Mookie back at short and then figure out somewhere else to put Gavin Lux?
So they can do that, but you have to remember that Mookie Betts is an athlete and he's amazing and he can play any position incredibly well. He is not a shortstop. He played second base. He has played some short. He was a right fielder for his entire career.
It was last year that he was basically like, "Hey, I want more action."
Yeah, and
has to come to the infield.
I want my career to last longer. I want to be in the infield. Makes sense. Love it. great. He'll be fine if you move him to shortstop. But now what you're doing to Gavin Lux at the same time is saying we don't trust you. Your confidence is shot. So now we're moving somebody else in because you don't have it. So this is what spring training for him.
You already don't trust him.
Yeah.
I mean,
you already don't trust him in that spot.
I as of right now, I don't. But we have the rest of spring training. There's still a lot of stuff going on. I think it's something that you watch throughout the rest of spring training. If it's still bad, if he's still short hopping throws to first base, if he's still creating errors, he's still doing things they're addressing, of course. If that continues to happen, then you have to start looking at Miguel Rojas going back into shortstop.
There's two things
not
about
a good
that.
offensive player.
There's two things about that jumped out at me. First of all, the idea that if you move Mookie to shortstop, maybe that is a solution for shortstop, but then you lose that arm in right field. And that arm
he's not going to play right field.
I was going to say they already lost that arm.
You think it's never going to happen again?
No, I think for now, at least in the position that they're in, I don't think he's going back to right.
He actually said, "I don't even bring my right field glove to the ballpark."
So that's done now.
Okay. I mean, eventually, if he needs to go back out to right, he will go.
Which is, by the way, irresponsible. He should bring his glove just in case.
Okay, I didn't realize
he has his infield glove.
I did not realize then that he has basically said, "I'm not doing that again."
Yeah, it's Jason Hayward and it's Teoscar Hernandez and
but the Lux
CT3
piece of it, though, I think is interesting because, you brought up Seager before. Like Corey Seager, the lost opportunity just to sign him long-term, essentially over money, and he's gone on to be really, really good since then. I think that was one of those times where they allowed their rules or ethos about contracts.
That's what they do, right? Yeah, that's kind of how they say it.
More often than not, it's worked. I think with Seager, they misjudged it. But also, too, with Lux, he's somebody that he's still young. I think he's 24, 25 now.
He can turn it around.
But they've had opportunities to move him in the past, and they didn't because they really, really believed in him. Mm-hmm. And there may be, in retrospect, opportunity costs that they could have had by moving Lux, and because they had him earmarked for this type of role that for whatever reason is not working out.
I would say, Berg,
because now you can't trade him for the same value that you could have 2 or 3 years ago.
Especially coming off an injury.
If there's one thing that you want, especially in baseball, your defense has got to be solid. Your pitching's got to be solid. Right? And I know that's more of a postseason thing where everything just relies on those two and then hopefully the bats do their thing. Then maybe this is the hole. If we're trying to find a hole for the Dodgers, if we're trying to say, because I think it's so easy right now to just look at what they did and just assume. And by the way, I'm making that assumption that the Dodgers are going to win the division by 15 games.
Sure.
And then you're going to get into the playoffs, and I think Ohtani is just going to change everything. But we'll see what happens once they get to the postseason. But if you have holes, if you're committing errors, or you're not confident about your infield, like you said, specifically the left side. And listen, as much as the names are there for the pitching, I still think there's things that have to be proven. Glasnow hasn't gone as far as his health. He's got a lot to prove from that perspective.
Sure.
Yamamoto, nobody's questioning how great he is. Okay, can we give the guy a couple of months to pitch in Major League Baseball as well?
100%.
Like I think those are still
with Yamamoto, and especially yesterday. Yes, he gave up runs, and a part of it was him being a little bit wild and giving up walks and having those kind of things happen. But it also hurt him because there was they didn't call them errors, but let them guys get on base because of the infield having issues on the left side.
There we go. It's Outman again with Kershaw.
No,
It's all Outman's
fault. They were not hard hit balls.
Mm-hmm.
They were all in the infield. They were all directly to or right around both Max Muncy and Gavin Lux, and they just couldn't get the ball to first base.
What's the alternative to Muncy at third?
You can do a little bit of Vargas. You can probably move.
Kike maybe.
Kike has played and can play third. We have CT3 could probably play. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that can play. There's a lot of positionality.
None of them
on
sound
this team.
ideal.
And it's not ideal, but I would be comfortable with some of those guys in there. Whereas at short, you have to have a good shortstop. It's imperative to have a good shortstop. So if you do move Muncy to Mookie over there, which is a possibility, you move Lux over to second where he was before. Maybe that helps with the shorter throw. I don't know, but I think there are ways to get all around all of these things.
What's not being talked about is Yamamoto has to do a better job of when the ball's hit, it goes to second or first. So that's on him on location and the pitches.
Well, he's new. I mean, he's learning all different things about his team, including
maybe don't throw that pitch where you threw it where it ends up in Lux's
He's
glove.
now learning his shortstop and third baseman can't field, so don't have the ball hit to them.
I mean, you're game planning to go to the left field. That's a thing. They were bunting to left field.
You know what's
to
funny?
the left side.
Just kind of looking at you.
Yeah.
You actually look a little concerned about this.
I want the world.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's amazing.
It's fun to make fun of, but you have to I want to win a World Series.
Look,
I don't want
you sound like somebody that's in the 710 ESPN suite and that is complaining that the game is too loud.
The chicken was dry last night, okay? No, it was really good.
What Greg is doing right now, like getting down to all of the nitty gritty and like peeling back every single layer of that onion, that is going to be the Dodgers' scrutiny this entire season.
Yep.
Any hole that you can find,
Well, you have to find a hole.
But also, too, the way they're going to be discussed and covered. Like they can
because
go
of
on
what their expectations are.
They can go on a
everything.
10-game winning streak.
Yeah.
They lose that 11th game. What's wrong with the Dodgers?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's going to be their life in this era.
Good thing that hasn't happened to the Lakers at all.
Oh, no.
Never do that.
They don't win, lose,
Never.
win, lose, win, lose, win, lose.
Never.
Yeah.
All right. We got Factor Cap coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
All right, Parker.
What's up, Greg?
Spring training. All right, Parker.
Jeez. Little Otani and Dodger blue.
Yeah, why are you looking at the camera?
I don't know. Let's start over.
All right, Parker. Dodger spring training.
That's right, Greg. Otani and Dodger blue.
Yeah, Yamamoto's here. Pretty excited about that one.
Tons of new faces. I mean, Kike's back.
Yes, it's great. Maybe we should talk about it on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
I like that idea. What do you say, 9:30, 9:55?
Right, leading right into Travis and Sliwa. Get a couple guests.
Maybe Marcus Grant, Travis Rogers, perhaps?
Yep, just have a bunch of people come in. Maybe Clinton Yates will even find his way in.
Oh, you know, you always want to have the handsome man president right there.
Absolutely. All right, well, I think we should do that. We'll do it every day, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 9:55 on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Thanks to LAX.
The Black and Gold are ready to come home after battling RSL and the blizzard in Utah.
One of the worst professional sporting events I've ever seen in my life. I feel terrible for the players. We put them through this.
Saturday, it's back to Southern Cali as BMO Stadium will be jumping for Los Angeles Football Club.
Jump for LA Football Club, ole!
LAFC hosts Sporting KC. Coverage begins Saturday night at 7 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app. ESPN LA app.
Fact or cap?
Cap. That's so cap, Dad. Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go fact. First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys, I spent half of that segment just trying to find where Ireland pounding on the desk going, Star effing driven town was. And I think I did find it.
Okay.
It's right here.
Star effing driven town.
There we go. So, you know.
I mean, when he's right, he's right.
Yeah, we have no stars in the left side, so we got to figure that one out. Okay, so I know one of you guys has seen Dune 2 at this point in time, but Rebecca Ferguson is Lady Jessica in Dune 2, and if you don't know her name, she's also in Dr. Sleep. She's also in Mission Impossible. She's really awesome at doing these big action sequences. She's very funny, but she's also really funny on these press tours, and she decided to tell this story to one of the many people that are going in and out interviewing her on this press junket. And it's about how her daughter found a card that the daughter wanted to get to the dad, and involving Timothée Chalamet as Willy Wonka. All right, so I'm going to play this sound of Rebecca Ferguson.
I mean, should I tell you one quite funny thing? I know that you don't have much time. I'll give him another 30 seconds on top of this. So it's at Valentine's Day, right? I don't even know if you can show this or whatever. And my daughter is in a shop with my husband. I was told this today. Yeah, sure, do that face until you hear the story. She goes up to a card and she goes, "This is perfect for Mummy." It's a picture of Timothy, who she thought was her dad.
Timothée Chalamet.
Because it looks like my husband. And it says, "Will you Wonka my Willy?" But she doesn't get it. She's like, "Oh, it's Willy Wonka. Will you Wonka my Willy, Dad?" She's like, "No." Anyway, now your interview starts.
All right. So Rebecca is, fun and stuff, shares this story, but she should have let her daughter pick out that card and give it to her dad. Alan, fact or cap?
Cap. Yeah, I don't think she should have. I don't think she should have. I love and this is like the beauty of kids. They have no idea what's going on. Like the genuine innocence of what's going on.
It's Willy Wonka.
It's Willy Wonka. Yes, it is. I think the underlining meaning to it, one day maybe she'll tell her, her daughter the story or whatever it is. I say cap on that one.
Berg?
So I'm going back and forth because if you have the right type of family and relationship and it all works out that way, and you guys are just
seems
fun.
to be cool, yeah.
Husband is cool about it. He'd probably laugh. I mean, I think it should be okay, but still is it's just weird. I don't know. I'm so down the middle. I don't have a great answer for this, but I think it's funny, and also I love that accent so much.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Andy?
I'm going cap, not because I'm concerned about the husband's reaction. She may end up mortified when she's eventually told the story. It's funny to the parents. It may not feel funny to her. So in a lot of ways,
not as a teenager.
You're taking advantage of her being a kid for your own enjoyment.
A little bit.
You're essentially exploiting your child for your
oh,
own
come
amusement.
on.
That's what we do in general.
I don't want to play this card.
Okay.
But as a father of daughters.
Oh, wow.
Daughter.
As a girl dad.
All right, Cody, as a father of nobody, what do you think about this?
I would go fact. Why not? For the chaos of it. Like, I feel like it'd be funny if she started saying it like to her friends or something. She'd be like, "Yeah, I gave my mom's card to her dad, and it said, what was it? Willy my Wonka or Wonka my Willy? Wonka my Willy." Exactly.
on.
That'd be pretty funny.
See, the thing is, it's when she's a teenager, it's going to be horrific and horrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when she's in
Everything's
when she's in the 20s and 30s, she's going to be like, "That was hilarious."
But okay, Cody, you just hit
as a
on
high schooler.
That's
yes.
a good point. You just age-wise, how that will change.
It's going to change as you go on.
You just hit on another problem, which is if she doesn't get it and starts repeating it, and her friends start repeating it, all of a sudden you get a call from one of the kids' parents, like, "What the hell are you doing with your child?" Child Protective Services show up. Turns into
we're
a
calling
mess.
him CPS now, all right?
It turns into a mess.
It's all back to the Ferguson family.
Yes.
All right, so Travis Kelce on the New Heights podcast was talking about, his time spent in Australia when Taylor Swift was down performing there. And he said this, quote, they helicoptered us when he's talking about they had these overhead views of these paparazzi photos of Travis and Taylor, and Jason was like, "How do they even get these photos? Are they being monitored at all times? They're being followed by helicopters." So Travis said this: "They helicoptered us. Well, not us, Taylor. This is all because Taylor is the biggest and best thing possible. Then the kangaroos were pretty sweet. Got to see a red panda up close. Saw a tiger sitting in a treehouse. So." He just went from talking about Taylor, then, oh my God, I saw a squirrel, and I saw a red panda, and I saw this. So my statement is, he sounds like a golden retriever that got to be a real boy. Berg, cut your cap.
Yeah, you put it that way. Fact. Yeah, he sounds like Doug in Up, and he's like, squirrel. That's it does sound a little bit. But good for him. He was excited.
Yeah, exactly. Andy?
No, I'm going Cap. I've been to Australia. I've seen some of these animals up close. I've been scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef. It's amazing. Like, I don't feel like that's, just run-of-the-mill squirrel. Like they always use that joke, like, ooh, squirrel.
A butterfly.
You see a squirrel everywhere. You do not see a red panda everywhere. So, no, I think he's properly explaining things that were really amazing to see.
Al?
Yeah, I'm with AK on this one. I kind of lean towards that. And as somebody who has a golden retriever, and Rookie is so... this is going to be just a little side story. Rookie is so weird with certain things. If it's a crow... He's like, we're going down. First off, he's not going to do anything, okay? The guy's scared of his own shadow. If it's a squirrel, in the beginning when I first got this guy, it was like the squirrels were, like there was a showdown about to go down. Now he just walks by squirrels so completely disinterested. I understand the guy. The retriever world is it's a different world.
Isn't that better, though? You don't want to be like pulling like, no, Rookie, come back here. You don't want that.
No, I've said this story before. If somebody shuts their car door, Rookie's like, oh, gosh, we're at war. It's like, all right, here we go. I got to hold him close the entire way. He won't eat treats. Here's a dog, won't eat treats.
Won't eat treats.
Because he's scared if he's outside and there's stuff going.
Does he eat treats inside?
Oh, inside he's a freaking buffet. He'll eat anything.
All right, so Harrison Ford was talking about how Indiana Jones follows him everywhere, almost more than any other character he's ever played, including he went to go get a colonoscopy, and in the waiting room, what was playing was the Indiana Jones theme. Obviously, the staff probably were like, Harrison Ford's here, we should probably play the Indiana Jones theme, but got me thinking, you would want music in your colonoscopy waiting room. Andy, Fettercap.
As someone who recently had a colonoscopy, and by the way, everybody should have theirs. It is a potentially life-saving procedure, and it is totally painless. You will not feel a thing. Yeah, I would love to have great music leading up to it because you're going to be nervous, even though it really isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And, for someone like Harrison Ford, who I think has a pretty good sense of humor, it breaks the ice of...
What if they played back Locked On Lakers from this morning while you're waiting in the
That may not relax me. I'm going to be sitting there listening back to my voice. Okay, speaking of that, though, with Lakers, this is true, and this was horrific, and this is an example of a hospital staff going too far. When my wife was in labor, and she had a very long, uncomfortable labor, we went to Cedars, and they were out of rooms to put us in the beginning. So I'm not joking. We spent the beginning part of it in a utility closet.
What?
Like she was we're waiting to eventually get moved into a room. They had nowhere else to put us that was anywhere remotely private. So we end up in a utility closet. She's already
there's
like
mops.
I was just gonna say, like, are they coming? Excuse me, sorry about that. They're just like,
let me get the ammonia real fast.
I'm
I gotta
serious.
go.
We are in a utility closet.
Oh my
so
gosh.
this is off to a horrible start. She's in horrible pain.
Yeah.
And somebody who is coming in to give her, I don't remember if it was the only epidural, but the first of the epidurals, to take away pain, recognizes my last name, recognizes me, wants to start talking Lakers.
No, wrong
and
moment.
I'm just like, dude,
read the room.
You are killing me. Like, he keeps bringing it up, but it's like, I don't want to be like, what the hell, dude? Because this guy's about to give my wife a really large needle. I need him in the right state.
What year was this?
This was 2011.
Okay.
So
I could see kind of where he's coming from.
Well, look,
a lot of question marks around that franchise. If you have an opportunity to talk to somebody that's connected as AK, I might have a couple questions.
In fairness to this jackass, it was April 2011. They were about to start trying to three-peat. So I get where this was coming from, but I'm just like, every single question, I'm not engaging. I'm not anything, but my wife is just giving me this death stare. I'm like, it's not me.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
You can't just say, like, I appreciate that you listen. It's really nice of you, but I've got to focus on my wife.
I would have pulled you. I would have pulled you to the side for a quick second and just say, "Hey,
oh my God,
got a couple questions about
time and place, time and place, man."
All right, Al, what do you think about this?
Well, I was going to say, in question, if you want music there, I was going to go with Cap, and I was going to say I'd prefer them just playing the Travis and Sliwa show, but since you already went to Locked On Lakers. We'll take that up. I don't need music. Like it doesn't sound like a music type of time. Like it doesn't sound like a, hey, can I throw on certain type of music to it? Certainly what I don't want dramatic music. Like
what about like a sing-along?
Can you imagine if it's that? It's something. It's Jaws. Something along those lines. Yeah, I don't. Let's just get this done. I want no music at all.
Berg?
I want music. Like I want music in basically every aspect of every day. I don't think it matters whether you're having a colonoscopy or at the dentist or doing whatever. Give me some music, fine. I'm totally cool with that. I don't care that something's going to be. I'm not going to go deep into what we're talking about.
The Gladiator and The Rock. He's trying to find like the most intense music possible.
Yeah,
leading up.
Yeah, I mean, if there's music, I have no problem with music in any. There's very few moments in life that music doesn't work.
It's just got to be the right music.
Yeah. No, Jaws would be a bad music choice.
That's bad.
Yeah, this is a bad music choice to go get a colonoscopy.
Yes.
But anything else? A little beat to it?
You know what, though? The Raiders theme, taking us back to Harrison Ford, that's very uplifting. Like, you feel good about the adventure that awaits you.
That's it.
That's actually not bad.
Raiders theme everywhere works.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's pretty funny.
Wait, this isn't a Raiders. Oh, Raiders of the Lost Ark?
It is.
Yeah,
like you feel good as you're getting wheeled in.
You can do anything.
You're high-fiving people
Yes,
on the way in.
Let's go!
Absolutely.
Time to go under.
This is not
sold.
bad.
Maybe I've been turned around on this.
Yeah, works. Totally works for me.
All right, that's all we got right there. It's a perfect way to end it here. Play the Raider music. Okay, calling right now, 877 710-3776, 877-710-ESPN. Caller number 7 wins a 4-pack of tickets for a stadium tour at SoFi and the NFL Experience LA. Remember, calling right now, if you've never been to SoFi Stadium, even if you've been to a game, to get this personal tour, that is awesome. Make sure you call right now, 877-710-ESPN. We come back. Emily brought this up a little bit earlier. Is there a world where Aaron Donald actually retires? Is that actually feasible? There was a good article that came out a little bit earlier today in The Athletic from Jordan Rodriguez. We'll talk about that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
All right, coming up in about 10 minutes, we got our snake draft. So, best picture winners. We're going to be ranking best picture winners. Obviously, the Oscars coming up this weekend, so perfect timing for that. It's going to be a tough list, and I think the order you said AK is first.
Yes, Andy's going to be first. It's Andy, then Cody, then you, then me.
Okay.
So, we'll see how it goes.
All right.
I got your green book.
See how it goes.
I think I know, Al, your first pick. I'm not going to tell you. I'm pretty positive I know one of two things that'll be your first pick.
Okay. All right. That should be fun. All right, so we'll do that in about 10 minutes. Em, I'm going to bring you in on this one because we were talking a little bit about it before the show started. There's an article that came out, and Jordan Rodriguez does a great job for The Athletic. And part of the conversation was about Aaron Donald and the questions around Aaron Donald. It's interesting reading some of the quotes there. I'm just assuming that Aaron Donald is coming back, and maybe some of that has to do with the fact that, obviously from a financial perspective, makes a lot of sense for him to come back. But I think another piece of it is the Rams had such a good season this year. And even the playoff loss that they had against the Detroit Lions were in it, had an opportunity, and who knows, maybe the opportunity to obviously build off of what they created last season. I'm just assuming he's coming back. And it doesn't sound like it's a complete guarantee. At least Sean McVay, Les Snead. Nobody's really given you quotes saying, he's 100% coming back.
Right. So after the loss to the Lions in the locker room afterwards, Aaron Donald was asked if he's committed to carrying, this Rams team forward into 2024 with this group, and he said, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's, height, emotions, you just lost, you have this vision for the future.
Literally the post-game interview after they lost to the Lions.
And then, Les Snead and McVay have both been asked about Aaron Donald, and they're saying, we hope, we think. There's no, yes, Aaron will be back next year. Yes, we know that he will be on this team next year because, he has, if he's on the team at the start of the league year, he would get $35 million.
Yep.
And so that would be his, the next year he would get that paid. And then after that, I believe his contract could be void. So this could be his last year on that contract. Doesn't super matter. But the idea that Aaron Donald isn't for sure, but I don't know why this keeps on being asked as a question. That's the whole thing for me. It's
and there isn't a clear answer. There isn't anybody just saying, guys, what are we doing here? Why are we asking this question?
I never even doubted that Aaron Donald went back, because if he was going to leave, I would have thought it would be either after that Super Bowl or after the terrible season. Why would you leave when you have so much hope for this team, when you have the ability to teach these young guys? I'm lost in why now would be the time.
Because his body might be telling him it's time. He's been doing this now for 10 seasons. It is a brutal position to be playing that many games. He doesn't get hurt often. He's always on the field. He's always attracting double, triple teams.
Right.
He's going to be turning 33 this year. He might be thinking, how am I going to be walking when I'm 43? And, he could win another Super Bowl, which would obviously be great, but I don't think anybody would consider the Rams favorites to win next year. They could be in that mix of
they're favorited to make the playoffs.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
And once you're in the playoffs, I know with the NFL, it's one and done, anything can happen, but they're not going to be considered favorites to win this thing.
Well, and let's see, I guess the question would be, let's see what happens this offseason, because they have flexibility, they have a high draft pick, they have, they're in a spot where they're in a much better position than they were a year ago.
They could get someone else to be on the line with him so he's not getting triple teamed all the time. Or if he is getting triple teamed, then they get home to the quarterback and everything. But also, Aaron Donald's, good friend, Eric Henderson, left to go to USC.
That's right. Yep.
The defensive coordinator left. Raheem Morris went to go to Atlanta, so he's going to have a new defensive coordinator and Chris Shula. So there are changes that might lead to this.
But also, too, the reason I bring up the Super Bowl thing is he already has one.
He's a made man.
He's a made man who has done everything you can in the league. He's been the best at his position. Forget just of his generation, of among many generations. He's one of the all-time greatest. He has a Super Bowl. He is a lifer with this franchise. There really isn't anything else left for him to do. And the fact that this has been coming up the last few years, I assume unless he's been, I guess, reckless with money or he's got maybe a lot of people he's taking care of or whatever, he's probably financially set many times over. So even though $35 million, I'm sure still seems like a lot of money to him, it's not money that he necessarily needs. It's money that he wants.
Well,
There's a difference.
This is the only question I would say is, I think if this was a year ago and you're basically, Vegas has you winning 5.5 games, something along those lines, I think it's easier to say.
He also got injured in that year, too, and he didn't play the whole season.
Yep, and I think it's easier to say, do I want to do this again? And how good are we going to be? I think the financial part of it, like you said, maybe Aaron Donald, the last thing he's worried about is money, or maybe he's like, listen, this is the most amount of money I'm going to make. Let me grab that 35. Sure. Regardless, I think to go back to Emily's point and part of this article, nobody's just said, hey, let's shut this down
because
real quick.
I think it's something he legitimately has been thinking about the last few years, especially after winning that Super Bowl, because at that point, he's done everything. He's accomplished everything. So the idea of what is bringing me back to this, like what is the motivating factor?
$35 million.
Well, okay, sure.
Or the health.
Right, that may be it, but let's remove the money. Let's just remove the money from the equation. When you think about
That's what Cody always says, by the way. He's like, look, money ain't a thing.
Right. Like the driving forces to come back, especially when you think about the wear and tear on your body and you start thinking about the future, and he'll have other opportunities down the road to either be in a booth or to be a part of a team or invest in other stuff, like whatever. I imagine you start thinking about, like, do I want to put myself through this again? Why? Why do I want to? If I had to guess, he's probably going to come back.
I was just going to say, gut, if I said, hey, August 1st, is he there?
Yeah.
I
get why this is a question. If you're somebody like him and you think about the wear and tear that ends up on your body.
Okay, we got our snake draft coming up next. So it's best picture winners. Obviously, this has to do with the Oscars. Oscars this upcoming weekend. We're going to talk some Lakers basketball coming up at 12:15 as well. So make sure you tune in for that. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, AK in the House, 710 ESPN.
All right, the NCAA tournament is almost here. Slee and I are in matching shirts. And you can come hang out with us at the Dine-In Pizza Hut on Magnolia Avenue in Anaheim on March 22nd. There is Dine-In Pizza Hut still out.
Listen, you eat pizza, you hang out with us,
Win.
College basketball going on. We're giving away a 75-inch 4K TV. Of course, we're going to be giving out specials the entire time. You know Pizza Hut's going to hook everybody up. What's better?
They have menu hacks that we can talk about. Come on out, hang out with us. Pizza Hut in Anaheim, Magnolia Avenue, March 22nd. Don't
miss out.
That.
No. Live from LA Live on 710 ESPN.
All right, guys, it is time for the snake draft every Thursday at noon, right? Travis isn't here, so he didn't ask what segment. All right, so we're doing Best Picture winners at the Oscars.
Oh, this is good.
We're playing Oppenheimer's theme because this is the presumptive Best Picture for this coming year. The order is Andy, Cody, Alan, Emily. 12 picks total, 3 each, because that's all that we can fit on the graphic, right, Parker? Awesome.
Parker!
All right. Andy, you're up first.
For the first pick, I believe
number
I
one
am
draft.
Taking what is both a great pick and I think the obvious pick, and for a reason, The Godfather. It is one of the greatest movies ever made. It is like a very common, my favorite movie for most people. Like it's everybody's favorite. I don't know what needs to be said about The Godfather, but to me, it's the obvious pick for number one overall.
Solid pick. I would be surprised if it didn't go one overall. All right, Cody, you're up next.
I'm actually going to go with the Titanic with the second overall pick. The Titanic.
What the heck?
I feel like it's a classic movie.
You weren't even
Jack.
born yet.
I wasn't even born yet.
here.
Why did you pick Titanic? Tell me more about why you picked the Titanic.
I remember
Cody.
watching it when I was actually in high school. I remember watching it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure the dude could fit on the door, so I'm gonna go with the Titanic as the second pick.
I hate that conversation because it would have sunk if he would have gotten on there. It wouldn't have floated anymore. Come on, Cody. You barely know Titanic. You don't deserve to pick it. Anyway.
I'm assuming you were gonna.
Yes, I
were you
was
gonna-
going to pick
okay.
Titanic. All right, Alan, you got one.
That's the only way you know that she's angry with the pick. It has nothing to do with the actual pick and the order of the pick. She just wanted the pick. Okay, I got a lot to choose from. Obviously, Godfather would have been my number one as well. I think a lot of people. This one might be a little bit higher than people would put it, but
Green Book.
I think.
This is the only thing that me and you get.
I think it was such a good movie, and it threw me off. I didn't have much knowledge or
I
expectations
know where you're going
coming
with this.
into it.
We just talked about this.
Parasite.
Great movie.
That's a shocker in the
That
first
is the
round.
shocker pick.
I get it. I
Yeah.
understand that.
I mean, I love it. It's
But-
modern.
But Parasite was.
It's so good.
Really, really good. I'll go Parasite, my number one pick.
Yeah, so that is not the pick that I thought you would have gotten on the first pick, but I think it does match your movie tendencies. You do like the foreign films. You like that.
It was
kind of
high
stuff.
on my list of
Yeah.
movies that I was interested in. I
Yeah.
love Parasite.
I almost kind of thought I need to steal it right here. I didn't know if somebody else might take it, but apparently nobody was going to take it.
I was thinking to take it in the third round, so
Okay.
I thought it was going to be around for a little bit longer.
Mace is
so-
now watching us do this draft. That's extra pressure.
Yeah, extra pressure here. All right, so my next pick is going to be one of the very few movies that got the big five. So picture, actor, actress, writing, and yes, Silence of the Lambs is going to be my first pick, and it is one of my favorite movies. I know Travis loves it, likes to do the Buffalo Bill voice. I will not bother you guys with the Buffalo Bill voice. Takes place in Virginia.
fat person.
Love Jodie Foster. So Silence of the Lambs is my first pick.
Okay.
Second pick, let me think about this one. I think I'm going to go with a movie that brings me a lot of joy, a movie that I watch regularly, a movie that is here played at the Hollywood Bowl every year, Sound of Music. Sound of Music is my second pick.
Very
I know
nice.
I probably could have picked it later. I don't know if you guys were going to pick it. I love the Sound of Music. So my two picks are Silence of the Lambs and Sound of Music. So that's my taste. All right, Al, your next pick.
Okay, this one, I think this is where you thought I may be going. I'm assuming. I could be wrong here. With my number two pick, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I probably mentioned it a few different times. The show Gladiator. Gladiator is my.
I thought that was going to be your first pick.
She did say that.
And for a second there, I thought, do I got to take it right now? I got a little worried that you might take it. I'll take Gladiator with my second pick.
Solid pick. Are you excited for the sequel?
Yes, I always get worried about sequels. When you have a movie like that that's so great,
It's like going to be 25 years later. They had some time in between the sequels.
I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. There's going to be expectations that probably won't be met, but that comes with every sequel.
I did not like Gladiator, but I'm actually kind of interested in Gladiator 2. It's got a really, really good cast.
Paul Mescal.
Yeah. Denzel.
Yeah, Denzel.
I didn't even know Denzel's in it.
Denzel is in it.
Okay.
Cody, your next pick.
This is a childhood pick. My favorite actor growing up was always Tom Hanks. I'm going to go with Forrest Gump with my second pick here. Forrest Gump, just a classic movie. Made me cry as a kid, so.
Did you ask Emily if that's okay?
Emily, is it okay?
Because she'll get
She said it's solid. She didn't like the pick.
Yeah, I wasn't going to pick it, so go off, King. Yeah, sure. All right, next pick is going to be Andy.
Okay, I'm
Two
actually stunned that this is still on the board.
I know what you're going to take.
Godfather Part 2.
Yes,
Wow.
Godfather Part 2.
Actually, for some reason, I thought you get the whole series there.
Well, we're doing it by Best Picture winners, and so both
Oh, yeah,
Godfather
that's
and
fair.
Godfather
Yes.
Part
Yeah,
2
that's fair.
won.
Yeah, it's an incredible. Godfather 2, a lot of people think is better than The Godfather. Like, Godfather 2 is an amazing movie. I almost wondered if it was overkill, but I'm like, it's too good a movie. I need to take it.
Okay, so
Okay,
what
there's
is your
two
third
right
pick?
there. You got one more.
Okay, I'm torn between a couple. Do I want to try to win this whole thing with the most amount of crowd pleasing, or do I want to go a little bit of cinema
Go with
taste?
your pick. What is your favorite for the third?
Go for the win. Go for the kill.
I think I have a guess on yours. Can I guess yours?
Sure.
Is it going to be No Country for Old Men?
That is one of the ones I'm deciding
Okay.
between.
Don't do it, Andy. Don't
I'm,
do it.
I'm deciding between
Do it.
No Country for Old Men, if I wanted to just go crowd-pleasing, Rocky or Casablanca.
Whatever you want to pick.
I am going to go with No Country for Old Men.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
So
This is a very Andy list, and I think it really works.
It's a great pick. Such a good movie.
One of the greatest evil characters of all time, because evil that can't be stopped and has no reason. Like, it's just an evil because it's evil. Javier Bardem, great.
So good.
All right, Cody. Clearly, you were going to pick No Country. That's your
like,
next
Cody,
one.
your final pick here.
I think that was like the first crime and thriller movie I ever watched and being.
It was the first one you were old enough to go into the theater.
Probably. I think I was
because you were. Yeah, I was going to say you're 14 now. So 14 and a half.
Do you want to have the hairstyle of Javier
Oh
Bardem's
no! He was so scary. That was like the
By the way,
first,
that's how you know that Javier Bardem is a really good-looking man, because he's
Yeah.
wearing that hairstyle, and you're like,
And it works.
still doesn't look completely ugly.
Yeah.
And that is ridiculous
All
hair.
right, so Cody, first,
What do you go with
your
then?
first two picks are very high-grossing movies, very popular movies, very populist movies.
Cody's all about the money. If they
Yeah.
didn't
I'm trying to
come
make money.
in,
Straight cash
that's
on me.
That's it. That's all he cares about.
So with my next pick, I'm not going to change. I'm going to go with Rocky.
There we go.
That's a good pick.
Okay.
I'm going to close it out. Rocky.
Good pick.
The first one of many. Not my favorite one though. Not my favorite one, but because it won the best.
Because
picture,
Rocky
I'm going
IV
with
is the
Rocky
best
IV,
one. Yeah,
absolutely.
Rocky
Rocky
IV
and
is the best
Drago,
one.
the
That's the best one.
7,000.
He briefly ended the Cold War.
montage. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
All right, Alan.
All right, I'd have probably gone with Rocky if he didn't go. I'm going to go another classic. One of, I mean, obviously as heavy as it gets. Schindler's List, I did not think would be going third round. We'll go Schindler's List
I don't
to
really
kind
go
of
back to it often.
to close out.
It also
my-
feels kind of like frivolous to be doing this and taking Schindler's List. Like, if Schindler's List feels above this whole exercise.
Yeah.
It is, but it is. We're talking about Best Picture. I mean, this is as
The episode of
Fantastic movie.
Seinfeld when Jerry was making out during Schindler's List.
That's right. I forgot about that. I
No
forgot
movie
about that.
more
That's pretty
important
funny.
than Schindler's List. Zone of Interest, another great movie, similar topic this year.
Mhm.
So yeah, sure, great, Alan. Schindler's List. All right, last pick for me. I am so happy
There's
you didn't.
so many good ones to pick from.
Yeah.
So many.
I'm so happy you didn't take it, Andy. I have rewatched it recently. I've rewatched it a lot of times. It's the best romantic movie of all time. It is. I love a romance movie. I don't like rom-coms necessarily. I like romance movies, ones that hurt your heart, ones that make you think, ones that... I also love the making of this movie in particular because it involved a lot of people who were immigrants and they were playing immigrants in the movie. It's a very emotional movie. Casablanca is going to be my
Green
last
Book.
pick. Yeah. So Casablanca is going to be my last pick.
It's so. I recently rewatched it. It's so great.
Yeah,
It's really great.
It's amazing. I also, because I've been recently doing like Before Sunset and Before Sunrise and also Past Lives is in the same thing. All these like romance movies that hurt your heart. So
I should have just went with all these movies from the 20s that I haven't seen, but I'm like, no, trust me.
Go with Wings, the very
Trust
first
me
movie
with this
that won. All About Eve. So what did we think we left off? We didn't do Moonlight, amazing movie.
Yeah, Moonlight's not on there.
The list that I had of ones that I was considering: Unforgiven,
A Beautiful Mind,
The Apartment, The Deer Hunter, French Connection, Rain Man, Argo, The Departed.
I thought about French
Departed.
Connection.
That's right. Departed's a good one.
Departed's really
But
good.
that's not even Scorsese's best, though. It's
But
just kind of frustrating.
won
but
Best
yeah.
Picture.
Of course. I liked Ordinary People. Kramer versus Kramer. Those are two of my favorites. One Flew Over the
Hilarious
Cuckoo's Nest.
movies.
Yeah, nonstop laughs in Ordinary People.
Oh, I forgot about this. Dances with Wolves. Little Kevin Costner action there.
Meh.
You guys didn't like
it? Beat Goodfellas. That movie's a crime.
Braveheart.
Yeah.
Braveheart, another good one on there.
Braveheart's good. But no, I'm
trying to think what
Dances
else is on
with
here.
Wolves took away Goodfellas, which should have
Yeah.
been Best Picture.
Which is Martin's best, in my
yeah,
opinion.
it is his best.
That one over.
Yes.
I didn't know
I do
that.
not speak of Dances with Wolves.
That changes everything in life.
Yes.
Okay, so Godfather, Godfather 2, No Country for Old Men, Cody, Titanic, Forrest Gump, and Rocky.
Straight cash.
Myself, Parasite, Gladiator, and Schindler's List. Emily, Silence of the Lambs, Sound of Music, and Casablanca. If we missed anything, if you thought that we're crazy, this is... So we'll do this on Super Crosstalk with Mason Ireland. John always says one of two things when he comes in here and he does a list. He says either that was a pretty good list or he said you guys are all idiots. I don't think you could say you're all idiots in this. Maybe you could go individually on somebody as an idiot.
I can guarantee you he's picking my list.
He's picking your list?
He loves The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
And he likes musicals in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't like money.
He does love money.
Does like money, though.
He does love money.
Box office money there. Okay, we talked a little bit about it, and I think one of the things that has not really come up in the conversation that we've had about the Lakers in that loss to the Sacramento Kings, how much of this is on Darvin Ham? I thought there were some moments in the game yesterday, and if you watch any games on Twitter, on social media, everybody seems to be a head coach, and everybody seemed to be asking the same question when the Sacramento Kings went on the run. We'll do that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
Sedano and Cap for
Hey everybody, it's Cap. Ooh, that feels good. Oh, hello little doggy. Hello little doggy. That's how I talk to dogs. I say, every dog, I go, hello little doggy, how are you? Hey, this upcoming Saturday, me, the ESPN Street Team, and our partners at Subaru are going to be at the Best Friends Adoption Center. Let me give you the address. It's 1845 Pontius Avenue in West LA. When I say Pontius, Pontius, I didn't know how to pronounce it. I was like, is it Pontius? No, I had to put it in Google, and then Google told me Pontius. 1845 Pontius in West LA. It's the Best Friends Adoption Center. Oh, hello, that tickles little doggy. Hello. I'm going to see you guys out there on Saturday. Let's have some fun. It's going to be between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. I'll see you there.
The black and gold are ready to come home after battling RSL and the blizzard in Utah.
One of the worst professional sporting events I've ever seen in my life. I feel terrible for the players. We put them through this.
Saturday, it's back to Southern Cali as BMO Stadium will be jumping for Los Angeles Football Club.
Jump for LA Football Club, ole!
LAFC hosts Sporting KC. Coverage begins Saturday night at 7 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Oh, Cody. You even know
great
Titanic.
song.
You were never even born.
I wasn't. It's all good.
Do you think he picked it because he, like, did you say anything to him that tipped his
Didn't even
hand?
mention. I mentioned
No?
Titanic not once.
My first pick was going to be The Godfather.
I thought maybe she tipped it, thinking, he's not taking Titanic.
Yeah.
Damn, Cody. Cody is ruthless. What's going on, Mr. Yates?
We got a lot going on right here, by the way, in the studio, which is that number one, AK is conducting to this song.
He's been doing that for like an hour now.
Number two, I in fact have never seen this movie, so you're not in the wrong boat, Cody. And number three, I come and sit in this seat, just sliding in, no big deal. Slee's got the Costco executive card on the deck.
So there's a reason
flexing
for that.
on me.
No, there's a reason
flexing
for that.
on me hard. I'm like, whoa.
I didn't know you were an executive at Costco.
I did not realize I was moving with a heavy hitter today. I just came by to say hello in my usual pop by after TV, and this guy's putting it on the table, literally and
when
figuratively.
Sliwa gets pulled over, he actually pulls that out. Excuse me, sir.
Pardon the interruption, dare I say.
I forgot my Laker credential last night. I pulled into crypto. I said, what credential? What are you talking about? I have a Costco executive member. So I don't actually even know. I only pulled this out because it was in my backpack. I got to go to Costco after the show.
Okay.
Okay. And Mason has still never been to Costco before.
This is like me having never seen Titanic. This is a similar type of energy.
Okay. Yeah. He's never been to Costco. So I just want to see if I can set up a time with Mason. I'd love to give him a tour of Costco. Okay. Hey, Mace, come with me. And then I could flash my Costco membership. Mace comes with me. Let's go take a look at this place. I would like to take Mason to Costco.
What are you going to show him at Costco, though?
Well, he's never been there.
Well, right. But what I mean is I don't feel that Mason lives the Costco lifestyle. Therefore,
there's only two of them in their home.
And dogs.
Okay, first off, I should not be going to Costco either. I don't have a family of 9 because that typically is what Costco is.
You have at least a lot of people inside of your immediate residence, or you live really close to one.
Yeah.
That's really the reason. Or you typically enjoy $1.50 pizza slices, which is why I go. Personally.
Bad place to go to.
Personally, that's what I was
going
to say.
Get that hot dog
Take him
from
to
there.
get the pizza.
Now, Travis hates the pizza there, right? Travis thinks the Costco pizza is awful. I'm not telling you that it's
not great.
I'm getting it from Sicily, but I know what I'm getting, and it gets the job done.
Even with that card, you're not getting it from Sicily?
Yeah, there's some people that I know. People that know people.
After you buy 800 more pounds of chicken wings than you need,
okay,
you
this
go
is
get a pizza
this
slice.
is the only reason why going to Costco is not a once a week thing for somebody that doesn't have 7 kids. So I get that. But what Costco is good for, buying eggs from Costco, very cost effective there.
Interesting.
Buying your protein from Costco, very cost effective there.
Wine high on this list as well.
Very cost effective. There are certain items that you don't have to walk. Like if you go get paper towels, you're having paper towels for a year and a half. Like that's just the bulk that you're getting your paper towels. But there's certain items you can get at Costco that makes sense for 2 or 3 people.
Gasoline is high on that list as well. So I'm going on a trip, guys.
Where are you going?
Going to Austin, Texas.
Oh.
Going to South by. Have either of you ever been to South by?
I've never
Southwest?
been to South by.
Have you been?
Mm-mm.
I've never been either. This will be my maiden
I've been
voyage.
wanting. I want to go.
It's my maiden voyage, so it should be very interesting. I've been to Austin before, never been for South
When do you
by.
leave?
Tomorrow. I was hoping you were going to say yes to this. You were my guy that I was like, I'll bet it'll be him.
Are you going because you're speaking on a panel, or are you going to what's the panel?
I'm going in a professional capacity to speak about this company, but that's a separate aside. My concern
He just
is
bashes the company.
No. I'm saying I don't want to get too into what I'm doing because it involves a lot of different stuff. But my thing is that I've been to Austin for Texas football games. I've never been for South by, and I want to know what to expect. But I don't know.
I do have a friend who lives in Austin.
Okay,
and he's been to South by before. I can ask questions, or if you need tips about where to go in Austin or whatnot.
The tips I always need when I go anywhere, and this goes for anybody in the listening audience. If I ever ask anywhere, I need to know who to avoid. I don't need to know where to go. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm half joking. But yeah, so I was hoping somebody in here would have had Austin experience.
That's a cool thing to go to. Like that would be. I'm imagining because
especially as somebody that people are going to
in
be
the
listening
industry.
to.
I hope so. Yeah, it should be fun. But anyways, that was my fishing for.
What's going on? What's Clan Yates up to these days?
Nothing much.
You went to your podcast at the Tampa Bay Lightning game,
right?
Yeah.
That's right. I went to Florida. We went and did our Star Wars podcast on the terrace of the Amelie building for Star Wars night, which the Lightning and the Caps had. That was tons of fun. So if you guys ever consider jumping into the Star Wars galaxy, let me know.
What did they do?
I have a transport out.
What did they do that combined Star Wars and hockey?
So everything in the concourse was all of the signage was all Star Wars stuff. The way that they introed all the players was all Star Wars stuff. All the bits in game were all of that, and because the show was on our air, they did a lot of that too. So that's what we were there for.
People, fans loving it.
Fans having a good time.
Getting into the whole theme.
Yeah. Well, also separately, Tampa's a really great hockey town, so it was a good time. But
Cantina music.
Look at he said that with the look on his face. Cantina music.
It's such a great
Mom,
theme.
Dad, can we get some Cantina music?
I love the Cantina.
I
theme.
got a good grade today in school. Yeah, no, it's a banger. So, but no, the funny thing is that we actually went to the Cantina in Galaxy's Edge, so I got to hear that live. And fun fact. The guy who voices the person who plays that music in the Cantina at Galaxy's Edge in Florida, Paul Rubens, the late great, voices that character at the actual place. Oh. How about that?
We're about, let's say, 10 minutes or so, less than 10 minutes. We're going to do a segment called Rabbit Hole, where we basically, it's what have we been watching that just all of a sudden we can't stop watching, and we all go from different things. Do you ever catch yourself either on your phone or just on your laptop, something like that, let me give you some examples.
Yeah.
So recently for me, I did this one on Tuesday, but let me go back further. There was some do-it-yourself, some dude that's doing stuff around his house, and popcorn stealing. He has.
Oh, you're into this.
Well, I don't even know why there was a certain feeling to it watching him remove the popcorn ceiling. And it's just like, what the hell am I watching? And I find myself 15 minutes later, now I'm watching do-it-yourself with different things around the house, stuff along those lines.
This is my therapy, bro.
No, I'm with you.
I watch people shearing sheep. I watch people cutting lawns. I watch people cleaning overgrown houses. This is how I calm down at night after I'm done dealing with all these dummies out here talking about sports all day long. Trust me.
Have you? Okay.
It is therapeutic.
The one what you're talking about, people cleaning yards. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever caught yourself on one of those?
Okay, this is half my talk feed. I'm not even joking.
There's probably multiple channels that do this, and I don't know the exact channel because I do think there's a few people that do it. There's a guy who go around, and he's basically going to random strangers' houses that have overgrown trees, shrubs,
flora and fauna, AK,
weeds, the grass all over the place, and he's asking them, "Hey," knocks on the door, "If you don't mind, can I just clean everything up for you?" And of course they're like, "What the hell's going on here? Okay, how much is it going to cost? What are you doing?" And he's like, "No, let me tell you exactly what I do. I post these on YouTube. I make money off YouTube doing it. All I need is just basically a jacked up yard that I could go to work at." And you watch this, obviously they speed it up, and let's just say that it's 20 minutes, 25 minutes. When you said therapeutic, I'm with you. It is therapeutic.
Certain, the sheep shearing, that sounds incredibly therapeutic to me.
Right.
Because it's literally a cleansing of sorts. The sheep doesn't seem to mind it.
Yeah.
It's just very steady, hypnotic. You're just removing layer upon layer of that wool. The yard thing, I think, would be interesting for the person that's getting offered the service, because on one hand, you're getting your yard cleaned up and really redone in a great way. On the other hand, the entire world is learning that you let your yard fall to bleep.
So there are censored
my
faces.
My wife, for example, would never in a million years,
because she doesn't want anybody to know that it got to whatever it got to.
My wife will clean the house over 3 times because one friend is coming over for 10 minutes.
Bro,
I'm like,
if
seriously?
you saw these houses in the states of these situations, it's not even close to that. And the truth is that most of the subjects have really good reasons why. Something happened in their family. They had an injury of some sort, some sort of emotional situation.
Yeah. I'm not being judgmental.
I know.
I'm saying,
and lazy.
Right. And lazy.
That's also.
But I'm saying there are people who would worry about being judged this publicly for that type of YouTube traffic.
Absolutely. But here, my newest one is, and Em, I don't know if you check these out. And by the way, YouTube is a long way for me. I need these in 3 to 5 minute sections, 20 minutes at a time and stuff. But my new jam, jewelry cleaning. Yo.
Oh,
they're
Tata
so
Cody.
good,
bro.
I've been on watch cleaning.
Oh my goodness!
I'm already interested.
So
they
good.
drop it into the liquid.
The
It
little,
does the little rotation deal.
yes.
It comes out, boom, pristine. It is
okay,
awesome.
but am I right? Am I right?
I'm so glad you're on this, Cody.
Any type of cleaning, I've seen it to where there's a there's like a public fountain,
Mhm.
and it's just sat there for years. Nobody's touched it, and this guy, apparently this is something that he goes to, let me see if I can clean this. And any type of cleaning I'm with you has that. I almost feel like I'm in a shower, like I just got cleaned or I just took a shower.
This is, as Prince said in Purple Rain, getting bathed in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. They dip these things in, it rotates around, it does a couple, the water, it does all this stuff, comes out, and you're like, wow. It doesn't look dirty going in, Slee. That's the thing. That's what the trompe d'oeil is, if you want to call it the illusion.
The water is blue sometimes.
Yes, it looks like it's already sort of an art, average piece of jewelry. You stick it in the juice, comes out, dripping wet, clean. It's unbelievable.
All right, this is a perfect transition. We got Rabbit Hole coming up next.
See you guys later.
So we're all going to have our rabbit holes. Yeah, it's good seeing you, brother.
You too.
Enjoy Austin. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN. Okay, Prize Picks. It's America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million active members. Can I just make this very simple? It makes the games funner. Let me give you an example. Tonight, you have the two best teams in the NBA, at least in my opinion. Most people would say the same thing. The Boston Celtics playing at Denver. Okay, you can watch the game because you're going to enjoy the game. But if you get a part of Prize Picks, you can actually have some skin in the game as well. Nikola Jokic, more or less than 26.5 points against Denver. I'm going to go more than there. Jason Tatum, more or less than 27.5 points against the Denver Nuggets. I'll actually go less than. It's that simple. It's that easy. It takes about 60 seconds to submit your picks. How about this? You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with, of course, pro basketball, hockey, and college basketball. March Madness getting a little bit closer. All you got to do is download the app today. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
The Black and Gold are ready to come home after battling RSL and the Blizzard in Utah.
The worst professional.
I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
There is no earthly way of knowing
He's singing.
which direction we are going.
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Yeah, nothing can go wrong. It's time for Rabbit Hole, where we kind of talked about it last segment, whatever random place we found ourselves getting into on the internet this week. So, Al, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so it's kind of a little bit of an interesting one. And they just started feeding me this once that algorithm found that I wasn't skipping 10 seconds later. They're like, oh, we got one. These are like gym fails. And I'll tell you what I mean by that.
I hope not the tough ones.
No, not those. It's more... It actually had more to do with people trying to record themselves at the gym, and it went wrong. And it could be as simple as a guy will have one of the... AK, you know, they'll have the... like the belt... They'll tie the belt up and have the support, and it's on a chain with a weight.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
if you're,
AK, you do that all the time.
AK does all. That's why I went directly to AK.
Yeah.
AK only does that.
I do that in between segments on this show.
Yes. So you want to add weight to your pull-ups. So you're putting one of those belts on, and it has, let's say, a 25-pound weight on there. So they're adding weight to it. One guy was doing squats, and he had one of those on. Okay? The weight is sitting on the ground. So there's nothing happening. He's doing.
Does it create any resistance at all?
No, it's literally on the ground. So I'm like, what the?
The chain's long enough so you can squat up and down. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but somebody's recording him doing this thing. What is this idiot doing? Okay. I'll give you another example. Another guy. It's one of the funniest things I watched. It was only like 15 seconds. I'm like, all right, I got to watch that one again. Here's another one. Person at the gym. There's look, I don't really see this, but I know it happens. A lot of people recording themselves now. It's like content for whatever, YouTube, whatever platform that they're on, or they just want to show off that they're working out. Somebody has a camera. He's by the free weight, so he's got his phone set up, and he's doing the dumbbell. So he's doing it's a bench press, but it's an incline, and he's got heavy weight. So he starts doing it. And another guy walks in front of the camera to get his own free weights. Like, he has no idea what's going on. And all you hear the guy doing that's recording is like, hey, bro, I'm trying to film. And the guy is so confused. He's like, I'm trying to grab the free weights. He's like, well, why don't you just wait? He's like, wait for what? He's like, I'm trying to film. I couldn't stop watching this. This
is a closed set, pal.
These people at the gym who are trying to film themselves and getting upset at others who are literally just trying to get a workout in. So I got caught in one of those rabbit holes.
Such a narcissistic culture.
Yeah.
We already were anyway, but social media has brought out just the utter narcissism.
Let me say this. There are people, too, that... So there's the one guy that gets mad at the guy just trying to grab the weights. But then there's other people who see you recording and get really angry. And part of me is like, look, they're not bothering you. They're sitting in a corner recording. And one guy's get so upset at this girl for recording. He's like, why are you recording? She's like, why do you care? He's like, well, I'm in the background. I kind of get it from both sides. You know what I mean? But
it's filming people without their consent.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what if you happen to be that person squatting with the weights on the ground?
Maybe that's
in the background.
Maybe that's how that got recorded.
I'm saying all of a sudden you end up a worldwide jackass because somebody has to, record their workout. It's so important that the world see their workout.
A lot of money is made on influencers, guys.
Yeah. I encourage you all to go down a similar rabbit hole. And Cody, to answer your question, no, I don't need to see the weight falling and stuff. No, I'm not watching any of that stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah. What do you got, AK?
Richard Lewis, the iconic comedian, passed away. It was either earlier this week or late last week. And I've been reading some articles about him, stuff like that. And like you mentioned, the algorithms pick up everything. I signed into YouTube, and YouTube brought up his 85 special, one of his best known, called I'm in Pain, that I started watching some of that. Then YouTube starts picking up on those algorithms, and it took me to Richard Lewis on the Larry Sanders Show, Gary Shandling's show, which is just so incredibly funny. And it took me down a rabbit hole of Larry Sanders clips, like one where Robin Williams was on, one with the Wu-Tang Clan, Jim Carrey during the series finale of Larry Sanders, John Ritter's appearance. I just started going down all these different Larry Sanders Show clips. They're all so funny.
Those are good to get into when especially on like the comedy level. Look, there's certain things we could get into a rabbit hole. A good thing to get into a rabbit hole is something that leaves you actually leaving a certain way, leaving funny, whatever the case is, because I certainly have gone down other rabbit holes.
Like I'll say this because I know the Mason and Ireland, Curb gets brought up a lot, gets discussed a lot. Curb is funny. Larry Sanders Show is so much funnier than Curb. And I just bring that up because they're both very aggressively abrasive, walking the line of appropriate shows. I think Larry Sanders is so much funnier.
We got him.
All right. So first one that I want to talk about is so this is a while ago. This song came out called Back on 74 by this band called Jungle. And so this is I'm playing the song right now behind us. But the important part of it is the music video. The dancers are so mesmerizing. Like, I've watched this video, and I don't watch music videos very often. I watch this music video over and over again because it's also on TikTok and people are trying to do the dance. I'm not usually a person that's like, oh, I want to go watch the TikTokers do the dance. It's not like influencers doing the dance. These are like paid professional dancers that are just so interesting. And what was cool is that Gap, like the company, the Gap, did a campaign with the dancers of this group, like 6 months after this music video came out. So this music video came out. It was a huge viral phenomenon. 6 months later, the Gap, like right when it's kind of like outside of your mind, the Gap brings it back, and now I'm just reinvigorated. Like, this music video is awesome.
What's it called again?
Back on 74 by Jungle. And they performed at the Brits with these dancers, and it's just like, I can't stop watching and looking at them, and I don't know what it is about it even. It's just that it's so fluid.
You got me interested now.
And also, like, the camera never cuts. It goes from one group to the other group. I've seen them do their rehearsals and how they plotted it. It's very cool. So that was my first rabbit hole. My second rabbit hole kind of happened either like in prep for this show / during this show. I'm on the Wikipedia page for all the Best Picture nominees of all time.
Okay.
And I'm just making myself mad. I'm like, how did this one win over these things? Because we were talking about some of the big snubs, like with Dances with Wolves. And I'm just like,
I didn't know that beat out Goodfellas.
That is a straight up crime. Like, it's not his fault, but Kevin Costner should have been arrested.
Why am I getting arrested? This has nothing to do with you, but you're going to serve 2 years in the slammer.
Because you made this movie that beat out Goodfellas.
Right, like The Artist beat out some really great like movies like Moneyball. Like Moneyball probably
The
would have won
Artist
that
is
year.
a movie that has been, I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's been totally forgotten.
Right, exactly.
Like, nobody knows what the hell that movie is.
And sometimes they get it exactly right, and sometimes the best movies that we think of all time, like Citizen Kane didn't win. You know, it's like the best movies that we think of all time end up being Best Picture nominees, but never the winner. So if you are someone who's worked on any Best Picture nominated movie this year, just rest assured you will not be forgotten by Emily.
You know, it's really exciting. The woman who wrote and directed Coda, Sean Hayter, I actually bartended with her years and years ago. Knew her through some mutual friends. She's a really, really terrific, talented person. So that was really exciting to see.
Yeah, that was a sweet story and a very unusual Oscar winner, but like doesn't mean that it's a bad Oscar winner. It's just like sometimes it's unusual, but then there's the year Green Book wins, and you're like, okay, Black Klansman doesn't win. Like, what
I'm
are we
watching,
doing?
by the way, Back on 74. You're right. This dancing is really mesmerizing.
Incredible.
You have to like listen to the music. It's just you can't look away.
Well, I love it too, where it starts off with basically 3 girls, and then by the time you're 3 minutes in, I don't know how many different people there are, but
it's kind of like a progression of all the single ladies video,
kind of with more people,
right?
But yes,
but like with the continual dancing, and it's kind of an unbroken shot,
and just like great dancing.
Yeah,
and it's like Fosse with other forms of dancing, and it's just like it's mesmerizing.
This is actually a really good watch.
Yeah,
Cody, what do you got there?
So my rabbit hole this week was sort of in the film realm. So it's this guy named Josh Harmon over on TikTok. And what he does is he makes the sound effects from specific movie scenes with like a drum, a straw brush, like a unblown
Foley
balloon.
sound.
Yeah, exactly. So he was breaking down some of my favorite scenes like Ratatouille. He breaks down like all the cooking scenes from Ratatouille. So he uses like unblown balloons and he like rubs them against each other with like a drum or something, and it creates the sounds from the actual movie. And I went back to watch the movie, and it's identical. Like it's identical. The sounds are identical.
With balloons?
Well, like unblown balloons.
Right,
So-
right. No, I
if,
get it.
If you go to the Academy Museum, there's a whole section that has like sound and Foley sound,
Yeah.
how they made these things. They had this one. They talk about the Indiana Jones scene where the ball's rolling down the hill. It's a very opening scene of Indiana Jones, and the first one.
He
Raiders of
uses
the Lost
like
Ark.
random objects to just create sounds. So he'll break down
Yeah.
like commercials, and like he'll use like chips or something to create like
wow.
a crunch. I think he broke down like a penalty kick from the World Cup final. Like it's just random.
It's
and
such a underrated piece sometimes where you
Sound,
just
yes.
yeah, and I've seen what is it it's like a watermelon breaking to make a sound
Like-
in a
Yes.
movie or
The ball rolling down the hill in Indiana Jones is a car driving on gravel slowed down. So it's like they put the microphone right next to the tire of a wheel on gravel and then just slowed it down. It's so cool.
all right.
He's breaking down a lot of cool scenes.
By the way, that's every time we've done this so far. This is the first time that it did not include baseball reference. No,
No baseball
There's a reason
reference.
for that. Maybe because Travis is on vacation. Maybe, but it could be something different.
IMDb is my baseball reference.
But this is how random it always is. Like yours is so random from mine. I guess I'm the one watching the one that's least educating with gym fails and everything else. But everybody is so random. Anyways, if you got some that stuff that you get into rabbit hole, hit us up on Twitter and we'll certainly watch it as well. All right, we got the dump coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, AK in the house, 710 ESPN.
Mason and Ireland.
Well, if you somehow have awoken Radio Mace, then that's a good thing, Greg, whatever you guys told him. Because when Mason's mad at you guys, that's when the show gets good.
Up next at 1 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets? Yes. We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
everything we haven't gotten to today. Yes, it's time for the dump.
All right, so AK, you and I were talking. I just saw this here on Twitter, on X. So there's a account out there, Kobe Bryant Stories and Motivation. 14 years ago today, it's one of the most, I guess you could say, iconic clips that doesn't have any in the NBA. It has nothing to do with something that happened on the floor. It's when Matt Barnes tried to make Kobe flinch, and those two were kind of going at it. And Matt Barnes, basically 2 inches away from Kobe's face, pump fakes as if he's going to throw the ball at Kobe. And Kobe just chewed his gum as if he was taking a stroll in Manhattan Beach or something along those lines. And I think one of the quotes was, and this was from Matt Barnes, "You're not going to get into the head of Kobe Bryant."
Honestly, because I remember watching that game in real time when that happened. That was like Kobe became an action hero at that moment. Like he was like Bruce Willis in Die Hard, like John McClane level of cool. I'm like, it is an automatic body reflex.
Of course, your body doesn't have a choice.
Like I'm not saying like duck necessary, but just to blink.
Mm-hmm.
Like a ball is coming within 5 inches of your face. Your bodily instinct is to blink, like not cower, but just blink. Oh, and also too, just the perfect timing that for that 2 seconds, his body didn't just naturally blink, because sometimes you just blink and you don't realize it.
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest Kobe
I agree
ever
with you.
looked.
It is one of those, we could sit here. There's always highlights. Oh, Kobe did this or that player did that. This is kind of funny because it's on an inbound. How many, hey, did you see that inbound play? That obviously doesn't happen. This one is one of the more iconic ones, and nothing happened from that. Okay, so Netflix. I don't know what to really do with this one. Netflix will stream its first ever live boxing event on July 20th at AT&T Stadium. Okay. They're going to stream a live boxing match.
2 great boxers, right?
Well, I'm assuming there's going to be 2 really good
all
boxers.
these streamers, they're getting into live sports. It makes sense.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Oh, headliner.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
What are we doing?
Okay,
what are we doing?
I don't know what we're doing, and
other than I know what we're doing, we're making money.
If there's $1 that I have to pay for this outside of already my subscription on Netflix, I'm not going to pay for it.
Okay, do we know?
However, I will probably find a way to see what happened.
I will watch.
Okay,
what happened?
Do we know the date? Do we know the date of
July
this?
20th.
Okay, July. That's why I was
at Jerry Roll too.
Yeah.
July 20th, Mike Tyson is going to be 58 years old.
He's
going
58.
to be 58 years old.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Okay, so I like where this is going, because now I feel like you're breaking it down, the actual boxing match. Are you saying that at 58, Mike Tyson, the most feared boxer or one of the most feared boxers in the history of the sport, are you saying he lost a little bit of his...
I'm saying he might not be
lost
in
a little bit of his
form.
punch?
He's almost 60. Like, he's getting the AARP magazine mailed to him. Like, this is insane.
There's a lot of people that want to see Mike Tyson, which I think will probably end up happening, connect to Jake Paul's chin and let him kind of...
Just once.
Just let him kind of taste a little bit of something.
I was listening yesterday. Like, this lets you know where Mike Tyson is in his age. Emily talked about how it's been so long since he boxed. And Emily's age, she knows him as the guy from The Hangover.
Was it 85, Em? Oh, yeah.
That's,
But I think yesterday, Em, I think you were saying that it was his first professional fight.
First fight, he knocked out this guy. But what I was talking about, I don't know him as a boxer. I mean, I know he is a boxer.
Now
but
she
I
does.
haven't seen him
Coming
box.
July 20th, she's going to know him.
I don't remember who, but we were talking about this before the show, and they were like, well, he looked pretty good against Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. was like 55 when they fought.
It was a great fight.
You got him. You got him. His footwork on Roy Jones, unmatched.
Clinton, if he's still listening, will love this.
Okay.
During the pandemic, when we were doing the live stream show, the late night happy hour for 710, Brian and I don't remember how we landed on this with Clinton, but we came up with a concept: old people boxing. Mm-hmm. We wanted to see people like in their 60s or 70s boxing each other. Like it has to be they have to be in the sweet spot of old enough, like young enough where
they could still land some
they could
punches.
still,
yeah.
Whether they can physically just move their arms in a punching motion,
sure,
but not so old that if one of them hits the other, that one's going to get seriously hurt.
Yeah. I like
so
it.
We thought like sweet spot would be late 60s, early 70s, old people boxing.
I appreciate that you don't want it to go too far,
right?
So that you
had like 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds. That's too old.
What's the name of this? So we have like top rank boxing. So what's old people boxing's like taggy, buzzy line? Like
I don't know. Well, we were all partial to old people boxing. Like, just tells you exactly what it is.
OPB.
But you can have that conversation during the pandemic where we had no sports to talk about. Probably there's a good conversation there. This is actually happening, and you said, "Where are we in the sport of boxing?" This is where we are.
I'm
going
to text Clinton right now. Mm-hmm. Just remember old people boxing.
Yeah. No, you got to ask.
I think he's going to be delighted with this text.
Okay, Em, can you help me out with this? So last night, Gold Cup semifinals, USA playing Canada in San Diego at Snapdragon.
Your home stadium.
My home stadium. Okay, so what exactly happened there?
Okay, so what happened there, it's the Gold Cup. So it's basically like the Western Hemisphere, the Americas playing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you can be the Gold Cup winner. So it's just basically international play, getting to get international play. It's knockout rounds. So this was the semifinal game against Canada. So the game last night, obviously, as we all live in Southern California, it was not a great day to be outside playing a sport that requires grass. All right, so they were playing, and it was a flood warning. And the way that games get postponed or canceled is that the referee has to make the decision. Apparently, the referee did not make the decision to postpone the games. They played the game, and soccer that in mud and puddles does not work. The ball does not move. Nothing can be executed properly. And so ended up being where the game was pretty close, went to PKs, and Alyssa Nair, who's the goalie for the U.S. women's national team, she not only blocked 3 PKs, which is unheard of, she took a PK, and it's probably the best PK of the entire night. They ended up winning in PKs, and it was great. So
okay, so I guess here's my question. Because it didn't really rain. I know it rained yesterday, but it wasn't crazy rain. Is it?
It was a flood warning.
It was bad.
But, okay, so it had less to do with, hey, there's an issue with the stadium, less to do with that?
It was just that it was raining torrential rain. You
Okay.
cannot play soccer in torrential rain pour. It doesn't work.
Every kick was like, there was like a puddle like that would like splash out.
So, AK, I was trying to explain to you, I just saw some of the highlights. It was on Twitter. It was basically the soccer ball was as if somebody was playing it's shot put, where the ball just kind of stops.
It's like they're playing soccer with a medicine ball.
Yes. That's exactly what it was. It would just sit in a puddle, and it's like the players would catch up.
Yeah.
It does. It can hurt you, too. So if you have a header with a ball that's heavier.
Well, thankfully, it's not going to get high enough. You don't have to worry about it.
That's also true, too. You could hurt your toes. You could hurt your head. It's a big safety issue. And also players getting injured, whatever. But America won. They will play on Sunday against Brazil.
In the final.
Where's
at
that game?
Snapdragon.
At Snapdragon again.
You should go.
Snapdragon getting some love right there. Okay, one more quick one here. I'm going to throw out there. Washington Nationals are launching district tickets, a deal exclusively for D.C. residents. For $5, fans can buy a home game ticket in sections 401 and 402 with proof of D.C. residency. Is it just me, or there isn't enough specials like this anymore where you're trying to, especially for baseball, you're playing 81 home games anyways, just get people out to the park? How many parks are there out there where there's so many seats available? Can you just get them there?
The Rays ought to be doing that.
Absolutely.
Marlins.
By the way, and even the Dodgers are an awful example because there's not going to be, they're never going to do it. But there are, of the 30 Major League Baseball teams, aren't there 20 of them that can use on a Tuesday, a Wednesday? Why aren't there more of these special deals?
I mean, because the owners make money regardless. Mm-hmm. So they don't have to worry about treating the fans that way. You'd like to think that they would, but they don't have to.
Get concession stands, sell some merch.
Again,
get them into the ballpark.
They don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Just by owning the franchise, they're going to make money.
All right, let's do some Super Crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 live Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Look at AK doing it as well.
He's in the woo-woo-woo.
What's going on, boys?
All is good. All is good.
Yeah.
Heard you guys do your draft. I heard part of the draft.
Okay.
I didn't hear all the draft, but it's right up my alley.
Yeah, I figure you guys would both like this. And, John, you know how this works. Either you're going to say you guys are idiots.
All right, let me see who you picked.
Okay, so we did Best Picture. Oscars, obviously, this weekend.
Right.
So we're paying all-time list, anybody who's won Best Picture, and then we're ranking in 1 through 12. AK had the first pick.
Yep. Can I guess what he picked? I didn't hear
Sure.
any of it.
Yeah.
Godfather.
Yep. Godfather number one.
Godfather
Okay.
has to be number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
Best movie ever made.
Okay, so I don't know if this one fell to you, or I just kind of assumed that that's it, but I shouldn't have assumed that. Took Godfather with his first pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it looped all the way back around, he took Godfather 2.
Oh, my God. What is wrong with the three of you?
I was stunned.
That's
I was
insane.
stunned that it came back to me.
That's like
That
getting
wins
Shaq
the
in the
draft.
first round, and when it comes back around, you get Kobe.
Yeah, that
I was
absolutely
stunned.
wins
I
the
was
draft.
stunned.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Godfather 1 and 2.
What were the three picks before Godfather
Okay,
Part
I'll
2?
tell you.
More than 3.
Yeah, it's actually, that would have been the 8th pick.
What is wrong?
Like this is, I've told you,
Yeah,
John.
that's crazy.
John, it's one of two things. You're either all idiots or maybe
Oh,
you're
no,
not.
no, Andy's-
This
no,
one
no,
is
Andy's
idiots.
not an
No,
idiot.
I know. No, you're
You're
saying
an
we're all
idiot.
idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Godfather goes 1.
Yeah.
Cody comes in with Titanic
Titanic is a
Solid
legendary movie.
pick,
Yeah.
not better than Godfather Part 2.
with the number 2 pick.
Okay.
They're already not going to like my
Oh,
number 1 pick.
Even though it's a great movie, what you're about to say, they're not going to like it as a pick.
Okay. More current. I went Parasite.
I like Parasite.
Maybe I was a little more strategic on
But I
this
mean,
because
I
I
think
thought
it's
Emily
it's
might
a-
take
I think
it.
it's a little
You
arty.
are a moron.
Well, Parasite's a great movie.
It
But
is
I-
not
it
a
would
great
not-
movie.
Oh, wait a minute.
Parasite
Have you
is
seen-
really
Have
good.
you seen
I
Parasite?
have seen it.
Parasite's
Parasite is-
really,
Well,
really
I
good.
almost
movie.
walked out of it.
Oh,
Well,
come on.
no
well, I mean,
way.
it's a movie against the rich, so Ireland
Oh,
clearly
that's
this is
right.
outside his
Exactly.
wheelhouse.
It's an anti-rich
Like
movie.
attacking my people.
Okay, Parasite goes next.
Parasite.
It's a good movie.
It's a
You're-
great movie.
Wait, you say Parasite, Godfather Part 2, and you have those on equal footing.
No, what I thought Godfather was just gone.
Okay.
For some, I just
You
assumed
forgot
like
The
this-
Godfather 2 had won Best Picture. Or
No,
did you know?
For some reason, I just thought the series was.
There are some
like,
people,
we're taking
Slee,
the
that
series.
believe Part 2 is even better than the
I
original.
like the original, but
I like
some
the
people
original
do
more.
like to.
I like
Yeah.
the original more. Then goes Silence of the Lambs.
Great.
I love that
Great
movie.
pick.
That's at 4.
Who took that?
Emily.
Emily.
All right.
pick. Good
Emily's
pick.
redeemed herself. You and what? Cody take?
Titanic.
He took Titanic.
Titanic.
No,
That's
Titanic. Titanic's fine.
That's a safe pick.
One of the
Titanic's
highest
fine.
grossing movies
All right.
of all time.
Okay, then Emily got with her number 5 pick
Oh, boy.
overall.
Did
her
you go
second
real
pick.
arty?
She went Sound of Music.
Well, I love that. I can sing every song from The Sound of Music.
Well, she
And
said you're
Sound
going to
of
love
Music.
her list because of Sound of Music.
Yeah, I love Sound of Music, but it's not better than Godfather
Yeah.
Part 2.
The Hills were never alive for me when I watched
Yeah.
that movie.
Okay, I got my second pick. I went Gladiator with my second pick.
Can't go wrong with Gladiator.
I'm a fan. If nobody else likes it, that's one of my favorite
I think
movies
that's a
of all
great,
time.
solid movie.
Cody comes back with Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I've never been a big Forrest Gump guy, but people absolutely
He's
love
going
the
for
movie.
just highest gross. I think he was just basically
Titanic and Forrest Gump
Yeah.
is pretty strong.
That's pretty strong right there. And
Bruh.
then Godfather 2 came with.
honestly,
I
I
love
was
the
so
look on his
How many
face.
picks do you have after that?
One more.
He's got
Wait,
one more.
what else did you get?
He went No Country for Old Men.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's
I
and
love
it's
that
good.
old
You
movie.
probably could have done better, but
Friendo.
that's good.
I love that movie,
It was
Friendo.
over. It was over the minute they gave you Godfather Part 2.
Yeah.
So
That's why I
Godfather-
felt safe going like, okay, what movie do I truly love?
Yeah.
Because I've wrapped this thing.
Yeah, right. You've got it locked.
Yes.
So he goes Godfather, Godfather 2, No Country for Old Men. Cody, Titanic, Forrest Gump, and Rocky with his third pick.
Yeah, I mean, those are really
That's
strong
he's Cody's
picks.
Cody's right in the middle of the fairway.
Way to go, bruh.
Cody, they're starting to lean towards
My guy.
you.
We're leaning in.
I finish with I go Parasite, Gladiator, Schindler's List as my final.
Oh dear God, are you just trying to depress
Well,
everyone?
no, Schindler's List. I mean, if the idea is great pictures, that is a great.
This was
great
my
picture.
take.
Great picture.
Schindler's List is obviously a phenomenal movie. This exercise feels too frivolous to include Schindler's List.
You know
in a
what?
lot
You're
of
right.
ways.
You're right.
It felt inappropriate.
Absolutely true.
And Emily close it off. Last pick, Casablanca.
Great movie.
Good,
Can't go
yeah,
wrong with
very
that.
solid.
You know how many times they
I
say
have Andy way up here.
Yep.
Emily's second. Cody's third.
Yeah.
And Slee, you're so far in the
yeah,
bottom.
Yeah, no. I've actually got Cody second. Cody went with
Cody
the most
second?
mainstream
Yeah.
movies.
Let's go, bruh.
Let's go,
I'm
bruh.
I'm in the playing tournament. Don't
Yeah,
say
you
I
are.
didn't make the playing
You're
No,
the
tournament.
you
10
didn't. You didn't.
Listen,
even.
everyone
You're
makes the
picking
playing
first
tournament.
overall.
Two road
No,
games.
no,
Two
there
road
are-
games to advance.
There are a handful of
I'm number
teams
10.
that don't make the play-in tournament, and you're one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you, Mace.
You're the Pistons.
Yeah, the Pistons.
This right here.
Oh.
This is a
You've got a
executive member.
Costco
By the way, I don't
card.
know why I'm an executive member. I still don't understand why, but
I think
am.
everyone is.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think there's anything
It
special.
is a fact. I swear to God,
Yeah.
I've never been in a Costco.
Okay, so-
ever, because I'm not a member and I don't know how to apply. I think you need to be invited by
Yeah.
somebody to be sponsored.
It's not a country club,
It's like
but,
getting
yeah.
into a country club. I
Yeah.
think.
Can we go to a Costco one of these days?
What, you and me?
Yeah, because I have
On
to
your
go-
card?
Yeah, on my card. Well, technically, I just get you in. If you're going to buy something, you still have to use your own credit card.
Oh no, I mean,
I don't want you. Yeah, I don't want you just
I just want to get
stocking
through
up for the
I just
month.
want to get through the doors and eat all the free samples.
So,
Because I hear there are free samples everywhere.
there
at
are free
Costco.
samples. There are, I guess, maybe on the weekends more. Michelle texted me. She's like, "Hey, can you stop by Costco?" Now, there's not really much that I need to get from there.
Right.
You still have never walked into
Never.
a Costco.
Never, because I can't.
Do you have a
get in.
membership there?
Yep.
Okay. Can we just go one of these days?
I would love to go. I've heard so much, and my mom and not stepdad Leo have got like a gigantic oregano that I'm going to inherit someday. I would love to go to a Costco with you, Slee.
here are the only things that, if you're a family of 9, it makes a lot of sense to go there.
right.
If you're not, doesn't make as much sense. But we were talking about it. If you want, the only things you could really buy, John, it makes sense. Get protein from there.
Right.
Good to go. You don't have to worry about getting too much bulk.
Yep.
Get eggs from there.
Right.
Was it you or Yates that said wine?
It's Clinton.
Okay, Clinton was saying wine.
Yep.
Is so cheap there.
Okay.
And it's good wine. You get wine, beer, alcohol, your stuff.
Yep.
So there's certain things that we can go for.
Can I get a gallon of Cholula?
You can get a gallon of anything.
You get 2 Cholula bottles. They come together.
Oh, it's like a 2-pack.
It's a 2-pack.
Of Cholula.
Everything is basically a 2-pack. If you go get milk there, you're walking away with...
I put Cholula on most things.
It's good stuff.
Cholula's my favorite hot sauce.
Cholula is
too.
my favorite hot sauce. I mean, you can take your sriracha. I want
Behind
Cholula.
you.
Sriracha's a very specific
Tapatio.
taste.
Is Tapatio's good?
I'll go
Tapatio
Cholula.
is good.
I'll go Cholula over that.
Yeah, but I
Hey,
would go Cholula.
breaking news.
What do you got?
Briones had his baby.
Hey, well, that's
That
not
was...
breaking. It's not breaking.
So why did he send this
It was like
picture?
Friday, I think. Yeah, it was
It's
about-
breaking news for you what the baby looks like.
Couple-
Right.
Oh, so
right.
this is the first time we've seen the picture?
Yes.
Baby's actually, it's 6 months old.
Yeah. Play the breaking news sounder.
Born March 1st. What's that? 7 days ago?
There we go.
It was
Ladies
Friday.
and gentlemen, Gael has entered the world.
Kyle
so
has
funny.
a face.
And he's sending this out now.
Well, he's sending out baby
Just to-
pictures
just
now.
to me and you.
Oh, really? Just to me and you?
Yeah. I don't know what Jorge, this kid was born a week ago.
Yeah.
Party's over.
A week ago.
The party's not over.
We're not giving you squat. You didn't let us know on the day she was born. You're getting nothing
Send
from
that
me.
back. Send that back as a text.
Yeah,
Or it's too late.
On the Instagram, I see like Maite holding Gael
Yeah.
and like reading to Gael and very, very sweet.
No,
yeah,
it's very, very
but technically not breaking news. Breaking news for John, but not.
Yes. And since he waited a week, he'll get nothing from me.
Nothing. No gifts.
John, you were brought up yesterday on Spectrum with Worthy. I don't know if you heard what Worthy said.
No, what'd he say?
Worthy was basically saying something to the effect he was listening to you and Michael, and that you guys kept saying, "Make De'Aaron Fox go right."
Maybe 30 times.
And De'Aaron Fox kept going left, and that the Lakers would have no. It was just kind of funny to hear him say it. He's like, I don't know how many times I heard them say, "Make him go right," but he
Honestly,
kept
it
going
would
left.
make more sense to me if it turned out that all the Lakers just mixed up Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox, and they were making the wrong guy go left and the wrong guy go right.
Right. At least that would give us an explanation.
Exactly.
A little bit of an
for
explanation
what we saw last night.
Yeah, what was kind of some of your takeaways? I know it was such a roller coaster of a game. You're up 19, and before you know it, they're down 15 by halftime.
Yeah. Well, let me preface it by saying this. Everyone who's ever taught me about the game says be very, very careful not to make it too big of a deal about one game. One game is a. Having said that, in my opinion, worst, most disappointing.
So Emily
most
said
it was a very costly,
deflating,
very costly loss
with what was on the table. I don't
and
want to
it's
be
almost
overly
like they went to sleep.
Yeah, I don't want to be overly dramatic here because again, it was one game. They can.
I know where you're going.
Up out of the hole.
But you got to think of it though, John, as a playoff game.
100%.
The opportunity costs were massive.
To me, there were people that played in that game last night that just punched their ticket out of here.
Whoa!
That's how bad it was.
Whoa!
It was almost to the point of indescribable. At one point, Michael said, I said to Michael, I would pull a Phil Jackson or a Greg Popovich when those guys when they got mad.
Take those guys out.
Hockey substitutions. Take all 5 of them out at once.
Line change.
And he never did it. Darvin never did it. But those guys just stopped playing.
Well, there'll be people wondering, you said players who punched their way out of town. There'll be people wondering if Darvin coached his way out of town.
Well, I didn't say players.
People have been wondering that, by the way, since the start of the season.
I'm saying that is
John didn't say it.
I know you didn't say it. I want to make sure it's clarified. You did not say that, John. But I know...
No,
there were
Andy,
a lot of people.
I'm actually agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying that I'm not limiting this loss to just the players.
Okay.
I think that loss was incredibly discouraging
because there were no adjustments made either.
There was no timeouts called. I mean, there was no.
They never made De'Aaron Fox go right.
Wasn't it like a 50-22 run at some point?
Listen. They go on a 10-0 run to close out the first quarter.
Yeah.
And they outscore the Lakers in the second quarter 44-20. So it was 54-20 over a course of 14 minutes.
That's just a joke.
And I think what you said, John, and doing the pregame show with Michael, there was this hype around the game. Like, hey, this is...
And they came out like they were ready.
Chance to get within a half of the 7.
This is one of the big ones.
At one point, the score of that game was Lakers 30, Kings 11.
That's right. D'Lo hits the 3.
And after that, they just stopped playing. And I don't know why.
Rui said afterwards they relaxed. I mean, he just flat out said it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
he's right.
He's one of the few guys that I think did.
He was great.
They accomplished what they needed to in the first 10 minutes. I mean, what else do you want?
No, they had a great 10. By the way, it's kind of the reverse of the way the season's been. Normally, they dig a hole and then climb out of it. Last night, they put Sacramento in a hole, and Sacramento got out of it.
That's a good way to put it. It was discouraging. Like anybody walking away from that game, they're now back at 10th. The tiebreaker with the Sacramento Kings, that's done.
Yeah,
right?
done.
Sacramento's 3-0 against them. We hit a little bit on it. Is it odd too that Anthony Davis did not have a game and just clearly Sabonis was fantastic. Jokic, I get it. Jokic on Saturday, he's always going to be fantastic. But AD, just put up your averages, right? And I think that's what you needed from.
Yeah.
At the absolute worst, just put up what you average every single game. That's 2 games, game against Denver, and then yesterday as well against Sacramento Kings. He's well below his play.
I heard you say, was it ever verified that Anthony Davis is 0-9 against Domantas Sabonis?
I was on a Sacramento radio station yesterday, and they said that Sabonis is 8-0 since joining the Kings against Anthony
now
Davis.
9-0.
But they said that. I haven't.
I mean,
verified
I can
it.
tell you this: the last several games, regardless of who won, or I don't remember if AD played and all whatever, but Sabonis has absolutely had his way with the Lakers. And if you want to think of it as head-to-head against Anthony Davis, for the most part, Sabonis has way outperformed him.
That's not exactly true. In the first game this year, the overtime win, Sabonis did not play well, and Anthony Davis did. In the second game, and again last night, Sabonis dominated him. In the first game, it was De'Aaron Fox had like 37 points. And by the way, if we play that team in the playoffs, we don't have anybody who can guard De'Aaron Fox.
It's a problem.
If you get that matchup, it's going to be all about matchups. You get that matchup, Sacramento's going to beat the Lakers.
Well, it was Andy. I don't know if you agree with this, but it was the only time I thought recently. I mean, Jared Vanderbilt's a good player.
Mm-hmm. They so miss Vanderbilt.
Oh yeah,
but last night they desperately missed him.
I think if you go back and look at this season, after it's done, you start thinking about the things that didn't go well, went well, whatever. Jared Vanderbilt's absence, I think, has been one of the biggest stories of this season because not having him to start the season led to rotation decisions Darvin made that I don't think were necessarily good ones. They miss. He's a really singular player on this team.
Right, he's their second best defensive player.
And one of the only guys who can, if another guy is lighting you up, he can lock him down.
They miss his rebounding.
and
They miss his energy. Like he's physical. Like they miss him a lot.
Mace, more importantly,
yeah,
I know you have a lot of hookups in Los Angeles.
Oh, ton.
If you ever want to go to Costco,
you're the guy.
You come with me.
You're the guy.
I got you.
I'm in.
You're taken care of.
I'm in.
All right, Super Crosstalk is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger, that's what a hamburger is all about. Thank you to AK.